Sorry, I didn't hear that. You got to unmute yourself.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I'm gonna stay muted.
Oh, okay. Well, it's the beginning of the episode. There
Yeah,
you
we'll
go.
just go ahead and start it now. Good old Norm MacDonald.
Oh
Look
man,
at
no,
this dude.
dude. Norm Macdonald told the joke. Everybody laughed, and then he said that wasn't the joke. It's just he's so creative, man.
Yeah, dude. He's just. Oh man, I saw him on the roast of Bob Saget, which that's the director of Dirty Work.
Which I
oddly
just found
enough.
that out right now.
Yeah,
As I watched it, I was like, what?
yeah, I know, dude. And so I watched the roast of Bob Saget, and he just has all of these dry jokes, and they're just like nobody's laughing at him, but Bob Saget's just over there like laughing his ass off.
Because they're buddies, huh?
Yeah, yeah. So if you get a chance, watch that because it's just like, yeah, I can't even think of the jokes, man. But they're just like so dry and so just like Norm Macdonald. And like I said, everybody starts to laugh a little bit, and they're all clean jokes too. It's like he doesn't curse through it. That was another thing that I found out. Man, he was like on Last Comic Standing or something. And
Oh, he was actually one of those.
yeah, he was like a
Hmm.
judge or a panelist
Oh,
or
okay.
something like that. And this one guy was like, uh, oh gosh, I think it was like a gay guy that was up there, and he was talking about how somebody was spouting off some religion to him, and like doing Bible quotes. He was like, "Can I just start quoting Harry Potter to him?" Like, I can't remember what he said, but that was essentially a joke. He made a reference to Harry Potter.
No, he takes it, but it's like there's a reality there. But
Yeah,
people
and,
expect the
and
punchline, like you can see it
Norm.
coming, and he doesn't give it to you.
Well, no, and this was like this was not Norm Macdonald. This was another comedian saying that. And so Norm
Oh,
Macdonald is a panelist, and he does not like this joke at all. Like, and he's just like, if you listen to J.K. Rowling's interview, she said if you read the Bible, you can figure out the end of my story pretty easily. He's like, I didn't think it was funny, and yeah, dude, it was very interesting, and I kind of learned that apparently he was kind of uh, religious there. So yeah, I guess he didn't like people poking fun at that. Uh, but it was interesting. At least that's the kind of vibe I got from that specific uh, little clip
if
that I
you,
saw of Norm Macdonald, which is odd because I feel like everything was kind of a joke to him.
yeah, like
Uh,
he
he
was
kind
very
of he kind
open, like about
yeah
everything, except I
yeah
mean, apparently except it's cancer, but
yeah
I mean, R.I.P. Norm. But
yeah.
he
But
was
I mean, that's the second actor that's happened to. Because we had Chadwick Boseman who didn't tell anybody.
that's
You know,
true.
he's very private about it, and so was Norm Macdonald. I wonder why they're keeping that those secrets. You know?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, it would be annoying if you were like sick and somebody's always asking, "How are you doing? Are you okay? Do you need
Yeah,
anything?" You know, if he's just like, "Yeah, I don't know, I'm Norm. Hey, okay." You know, like I can't do it
yeah,
Norm Macdonald, but you know, he's it's all it's the thing about his humor. It's like he knows the joke
yeah,
and he knows how what to do with the joke, and like he doesn't necessarily give you like him playing a joke on you is the joke enough for him.
yeah.
Like him already like doing that, that's enough. Like he doesn't need to explain it. If you don't get
Kind of
it, you know,
a little Andy Kaufman esque. You
very
know?
very Andy Kaufman.
Uh,
And then also where
you
like
want
it's
to?
one of those things where if he tells you something and then like 2 hours later or 2 days later or a month later you're like, oh son of a bitch, that's what he was making fun of me about. You know, it's like it's one of those the kind of those shits. You know that him and Chris Kattan, he didn't like Chris Kattan.
Really?
Yeah, so like I'm gonna butcher a lot of this stuff because I didn't research this before this, but I remember seeing a while back where he would just say, "Yeah, that little fruity one over there, that guy." Like, he's like, that guy, and then there's a long interview where it says like Norm Macdonald burning Chris Kattan, and I think it has to do with Pamela Anderson. You know, when she was very Pamela Anderson, like you know, very attractive. I mean,
Yeah.
she's still pretty, you know, but she was like you know at her prime,
Mm. Oh
and.
yeah.
That Chris Kattan was like trying to like I guess like flirt with her or try to make himself seem like he was like cooler or something, and Norm was just like crushing it everything he was saying, like it is just like just bringing like and, he was just, and then Chris Kattan was getting pissed off at him, But it's like he reminds me he did the weekend update, right?
Yeah.
So Dennis Miller, I remember him doing it before I believe Norm Macdonald did, and those guys were brutal. And even with who was the other one right after him? I don't know. I'm not too big on SNL, but
So it was Norm
Seth
Macdonald,
Meyers
and
was
then
it?
no, I think it no. I think it was oh gosh, Colin Quinn after
Colin
Norm
Quinn.
Macdonald.
They're
I
okay.
think.
Something like those because you had these like honest actor or comedians that were on it,
Yeah.
and they were doing a great job. And then the way Norm would do it is he definitely would God, it's like he like there's a way you could soften bad news, and he would like lean into that bad news part of the like he'd really hit on the hard part, and like the joy part he'd be like, and then they live, but it's okay, stuff like that. There's a lot of his humor. I mean, seeing him, I mean, he's definitely a repeat offender here from Billy Madison.
Hmm.
And so we already started off with that, and then like just seeing him in the cinema world. I loved his cameo in Deuce Bigelow, Mel Gigolo, and he plays what's his name? Yeah, know me.
Yeah,
The
it's I can't remember. I saw it for
if he plays
damn.
like that, he's like they're doing the protest the He-Man or like the He-Man the Gigolo
Hmm.
protest or like they're doing the conference and he's like, well y'all know me. He plays the was it the Jaws character Quinn,
Yeah.
but he plays him like in a yeah that was like that was a great portrayal. He has got cameo roles that are funny. Um, he's he falls. I feel like he falls under that. ¿Cómo se llama? I'm about to mess his name up. Mitch Hedberg, like
Yeah.
where they have their own sense of style. They're, like David Tell, they talk a certain way, and I feel like that's all Norm Macdonald was with his comedy stand up. But he also was like bigger than life. The way he did a lot of his like when he came out on The View, and they asked him about the talk about the White House or something. He said, "Yeah, let's talk about those murderers." Like, and then they,
Yeah.
they, didn't, they didn't get what they didn't like what he wanted. You're supposed to be funny, make me laugh, and that's when I was like, "Yeah, he ain't no clown." Like he's got I get he's acting like he has this like innocent look to him the whole time, and they're like wondering why he's saying this stuff, but he's like, "Yeah, I'm not your poster boy. I'm not your clown. Don't
Yeah.
don't, don't talk to me like that." But when it's just kind of weird. We're on the spot right now, so I'm kind of drawing blanks with a lot of the, I mean, because I know Norm, I've seen a lot of his stuff, especially movie wise. He did have a lot of cameos. He did come out quite a few movies here, but I mean, he did roll with like what I mean. Adam Sandler's in Dirty Work,
Yeah.
like, and my favorite part about that is that Adam Sandler in Dirty Work. He plays that no, he plays this crazy, but
Boy.
you don't know. There's no he's not in the preview. So when you watch the movie, you get it, and you're like, "What? Was that just? Did I just see that?" The Gary
Gary.
Coleman, and then also I this time when Gary Coleman when the security guards are hallucinating and they see what are they seeing and it shows Gary Coleman getting knocked out like I'm like yeah
Uh
that would happen in a real fight like if Gary Coleman fought a professional boxer,
huh.
but well we're kind of warmed up already.
So dirty work, man. This felt. I'm. You want to do dirty work first? Do you
Let's do
want
it real
to?
quick.
Do you want to say what it's about? Give
This
the
is
spiel.
Let's do it. Here we are on IMDb.com. Dirty Work, 1998, PG-13, 1 hour, 22 minutes. Considered only a comedy, a loser finds success in the revenge for hire business. Director, Bob Saget. Writers, Frank Sebastino, Norm Macdonald, Fred Wolf. Stars Norm Macdonald, Jack Warden, and Artie Lang. Where to begin with this one? We're also going to compare that with Screwed, 2000, PG-13, 1 hour, 21 minutes. This is a comedy crime. A chauffeur kidnaps his rich boss's dog to hold it for ransom, but when she accidentally gets the dog back, she thinks that it's the chauffeur who has been kidnapped. Directors and writers are Scott Alexander and Larry Karaszewski. Stars Norm Macdonald, Dave Chappelle, and Elaine Stritch. So, Dirty Works. One thing I want to say is this seems like it's a '90s movie, but it seems like it's a 2000s. It has that 2000s feel to it.
Yeah.
I don't feel '90s in this one. And this might have been because it might have been the first. of its kind to actually start bringing in that more millennial vibe, that millennium vibe.
It was
Millennium
the
vibe.
music. That's what it is. It has to
Yes.
be because the music in this is just like, oh man, because it's almost like it has that '90s, early 2000s feel, like you said. Um, and I think a lot of that too is like all the teenage movies that were going into the early 2000s had all these songs too.
That's
Uh,
true, man.
so you had that. But yeah, man, dirty work is a very interesting concept. Uh, and you see him from he's always getting hit or thrown in a dumpster or something like that. I love how that's a recurring joke, and the only time that he didn't get hit is whenever he put it in contract that uh was it Artie Lang's character Sam,
Yeah.
right? That Sam was going to get hit. Like that's the only time. And I wonder if that's like a metaphor for something, man. He just keeps on getting screwed
Well,
over, and then once he has
yeah.
the contract, says like, "Okay, I'm not going to get screwed over here," and then like that's the only time. I thought that was interesting.
This is a very slapstick, I guess, like little. It's very
Dude, it's
slapstick.
it's it's almost like a Norbit esque. Like it's
Yes.
almost in the vein of that, like just trying to be like the crazy comedy. Like I'm watching it right now, and the guy he's like, "Oh, you're wearing my shirt," and the guy takes off his shirt, and he's just hairy as hell.
Oh, that's
You
me,
know?
man. I take my shirt off.
Yeah,
This is all.
same, dude. Well, and I what's funny, man, is I kind of watched this movie over a couple days, and I went to HBO, and I was like, I didn't finish Dirty Work. Like I thought I finished it because I got like almost to the end. And I love that line with Pops. He's like, "Yeah, I can't wait to use that one thing." It's like, and it rhymes with cock, and and it's just like jokes like that. That just like they get you because you aren't expecting it.
well,
Like, what's that?
well, Pops is just such a played by Jack Warden. The way he's just like, I mean, dude, that's like he's an older man. He's like he's say he's 100 years old, but he's in great shape. He's in excellent shape. I had an uncle, my favorite uncle, Uncle Louis. Man, he had those vice grip hands, dude. Like he could like he once when we were trying to jokingly beat him up like in junior high, and then he kicked our ass like he 3-on-1. He like really messed us up. But what he did to me, I was like, I'll never forget that feeling. He grabbed my rib. He like stuck his hand and grabbed my rib while he was beating up my other two cousins, like with one hand. Like, and we're all taller than him. We're tall. We're not bigger, but we're taller than him. So we thought we could take him, and he kicked our ass. And so when Pops is like all the times he comes out, I'm like, oh yeah, I'd be terrified too. And then but we also says like, we didn't have these fancy birth control things like pulling out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like he's just he has all those one-liners that are you expect, like condoms. Like it's never with Pops. It's never what you expect, and that's what's so damn funny about it too. And like he's I love it at the very beginning. He puts him in a chokehold. He's like, I don't like your dad. He's just weird. He's like, I can hear you still.
I'm
Like I'm still
creepy. I'm a
here.
creepy old man.
Creepy old man. And I love that it turns out to be his dad anyway. He's like, oh, what's the picture of that?
And I think, I mean, to be honest, the real side note, I think I own this movie, but I couldn't find it. I know I own this movie. I bought it twice, but I don't know where it's at. But I looked up just to see how much it was on Amazon. It's $38, as cheap as you can find it right now.
Jesus.
It's like, so, his a
Well, you can
death.
rent it.
Yeah, but I mean, no, I love this movie. This is one of those
Yeah.
that I would totally would like try to make my own because it's a very simple story, but it's the
Yeah.
way it's shot. It's just so hilarious. Like the story is way simple. This guy who doesn't figure it out gets dumped, and then he finds out that his best friend's dad needs heart transplant. Within the process, finds out that that's his dad because he didn't grow up with his dad, but this was the closest thing he had to his dad. That's kind of messed up. But not messed up because it happens, but it's kind of the way it feels. Like it's gotta hurt you. And
Yeah. Well, and he has that kind of trope that you see, and like you said, this is kind of like the first of its kind. Like a guy, it's not the first of its kind, but
on this style of
yeah,
filming,
the
like
the way
yeah,
the way that it almost runs like a stand up routine. Like
yes,
this is a lot of jokes and a lot of punchlines, and that's the way this movie kind of feels, which would make sense. It was written by Norm Macdonald, it's directed by Bob Saget, and Bob Saget being a stand up comedian. It makes sense that you would get a lot of these jokes, especially and you have a lot of jokes that like come back around. Like I said, him getting thrown in the dumpster, him just getting beat up or thrown out of buildings and stuff like that. Like that's just one of the recurring jokes they have. And another one that I thought was funny was whenever he said, "I think he's got his thumb up that dog's ass," and
That comes
then
back.
later, yeah, and then later Sam says like, "Yeah, I think you're right about that thumb."
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like
Just before the conversation, the real
yes,
conversation starts, he just throws it in there.
that's what I love about subtitles is because you can catch that. Unfortunately, you don't have the theater quality sound, or at least I don't at
Yeah,
my current time. So uh, those really help. Like yesterday, I was watching Screwed on Amazon, and I tried to get the subtitles working; they just wouldn't go.
yeah. Okay, I was gonna ask about that because I thought that was me, and I was like, okay.
No, dude, I tried, and it said it was on. It said English, everything. It just probably doesn't have subtitles. And like I mentioned before, Dirty Work really does kind of feel like a Norm Macdonald movie. It doesn't feel like he's acting, of course, but it feels like a lot of his material.
It feels like it's natural to him. Like if we actually could
Yes,
see Norm
he
Macdonald going through this.
he seems happy making this film.
Yeah.
And that's I do kind of see a difference. Like in Screwed, I don't know that he was just acting and he could put on that straight face, which I don't doubt, but it seemed like he was not happy making Screwed.
Well, it seems also with Screwed, it seems like it's a darker movie. They put a little darker tone into it. It's also not. I don't think he wrote it, and
No, he
also
didn't.
and the thing is like so he's acting. He's got Chappelle. There's a lot of things that there's more complications to Screwed that I noticed while watching it this go around. I believe I own it too.
Yeah.
And what do you call it? I think with Screwed, it's
And
it's a
and
good.
it's a universal picture too. And like I didn't realize that whenever you see that Earth come around, that picture of Earth and
Yeah.
Universal, I mean that feels like whenever I see that, I'm thinking, okay, this is a big budget movie. You know, this is a solid movie. Like it's almost like the stamp of approval on a movie.
Yes.
Like you have Jurassic Park, Universal. You have the early Mummy movies, hell, even the new Mummy movies, Universal. So yeah, I like I said, I felt like Screwed. He just had a different demeanor to him. It totally worked for the movie. That's the great thing about it. Is like it Screwed is still just as good, even if he didn't have a good time. But I feel like Dirty Work was more that was more of his love child than
Well,
Screwed
now that
was.
I figured out that Bob Saget was it because I was watching, I was like, "Who's directed this?" And it said Bob Saget. I was like, "No shit, you kidding me?" Bob Saget. No wonder it has that. Bob Saget has that dirty humor.
Yeah,
Like I think I want to say I saw this years ago, and I don't want to say I'm making it up. I could just Google it right now, but I don't want to look it up. But I think because everyone thought that Danny Tanner and Bob Saget were the same guy, and then you find out that Bob Saget's actually like a foul mouth, like like I don't want to talk too bad about him or anything, but I don't know
no,
too
no,
I don't,
no. I yeah,
he's like he cusses and stuff, and I think what happened was in public he actually affected him, so he was like, I'm not fucking Danny Tanner. He would snap at people, you
yeah,
know. But I do want to do a little shout out real quick on with Fred Wolf. He is
yeah.
a repeat offender. He wrote Black Sheep.
Yeah, and
And
he's also in this movie as well. He's one of the homeless
the
guys.
homeless guy. Sorry, I farted. So they did. Oh, you know what? That was me. I farted earlier.
Yeah, yeah,
I was like, God. But it was funny because I didn't realize that I was like Fred Wolf. Where have I seen it from Black Sheep? So I was like, okay, I remember that. So when I went
well,
back to
and
it,
what's funny, man, is there's a movie called Strange Wilderness with
hmm,
Steve Zahn. It has Jonah Hill,
Justin Long,
Justin Long. Oh gosh, from
Peter
Broken
Dante.
Lizard. Yeah,
No,
from
it's Chris Hefner.
yeah,
Heffernan.
yeah,
Yeah,
Heffernan.
yeah.
Yeah. Is it Chris? Good. Anyway, yeah, man, that movie is hilarious. Um, Fred Wolf is actually one of the characters. It's played by. Oh, let me just look it up real quick. But
Sorry, it's
yeah,
Kevin Heffernan.
Kevin Heffernan. Okay, and then Strange Wilderness is directed by Fred Wolf, written by Peter Galkey and Fred Wolf, and those are the two main characters played by Steve Zahn and Alan Covert. And Alan Covert is going to be the
He's
uh,
in all the Pappy
hap-
Madison movies.
yeah, Happy Gilmore's caddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Strange Wilderness, I highly recommend.
Let
anyone
me
go see it. That it is a fun, crazy movie.
let me give a shout out to also Peter Dante, man.
Yes, Peter Dante as
I have
well.
met that guy twice. I when I went up to Colorado Springs, he was there, and I got to talk to him. Man, he remembered me. He's like, "Oh, you drove all the way from Belton." I go, "Well, Austin," but yeah. He's like, "Oh, cool, man." So I got a little video of him too talking to me, and I gotta give him a shout. Now that guy's down to earth. He's really really cool. Like I actually just had like a normal conversation with him, which I'm starting to learn that I'm liking more and less. If I can just get a normal cool conversation out of you, it's
I
fun.
Dude, I love him in Grandma's Boy. He is hilarious. He's like,
Basically
man,
himself.
yeah, he's like anybody can get past a dog, man. Nobody fucks with a lion.
Oh, fuck.
Like that shit is just,
And then he makes friends with like the guy, the tribesman.
yeah, yeah. Dude, I love the end too when he's like, "Where do you buy your weed from, man? You, Dante? Oh,
Yeah.
hey, Mister Cheezel." Like,
You know what's funny is I was gonna also oh dude I just forgot we're going this route and I totally messed up. I lost the idea of what we're talking about. Never mind. It was yeah, but it was oh Strange Wilderness. The way it ended. What
yeah.
did you think about that ending?
Oh, I loved it. I loved it
It
because
just ends.
well, it just ends and it's like,
The main
oh God,
character.
what's his name?
The
Not George
Goldbergs.
Carlin. Jeff Carlin.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, the way he's just like, well, I guess it's over. Like it just they all just start laughing. I love that because it's hard to end a movie like that. So on that ending, like I always forget that's how it ends because
Yeah.
I just remember it ending like with them killing Bigfoot and that video, you know. And so it's almost like I it's a surprise every time
Well,
because in between watching it.
one thing I do love about that movie because it is funny. I did that's one of those movies that was played in selective theaters here, so I had to go hunt it down. I saw that
Yeah.
one out. I think I might have seen it in San Marcos, but I'll say the one thing about Strange Wilderness is that we would do that as Americans as just we would find something like Bigfoot and just shoot the fuck out of it.
Yep.
You know, not know what it is. Oh God, everybody gang up on it, shoot it. So
And
you're a little bit ahead of me in dirty work. I'm still at the I kept pausing it for some reason. I'm at the frat house part, and he calls him, "Hey Neil, is that you? Yeah, yeah, it's me, Neil." Like the stupid, he doesn't even change his voice or anything. He sounds exactly like Norm Macdonald. They got the real cops dressed like bad guys. I mean, they got some guys showed up like they're real cops, but they're not. They just robbed like the Fidel house or whatever. And he goes, all right, we'll get him. And then they beat him up. And then like Norm Macdonald, it actually shows like he punches him and does nothing. But Artie Lang's more like durable. He's tougher, so
yeah,
he can knock him out in a punch. Even when they go to jail, not you, fatty. Like they just even Don Rickles,
ridiculous.
even Don Rickles, R.I.P. Don, he just
Yeah,
passed out. They
and
live last
that's
year.
he's a repeat offender as well. Casino.
From Casino, yes, right. He gets hit.
Yeah,
Um,
with the phone. Um, no, dude. So I remember that scene in the jail so vividly. I saw this movie whenever I was younger. Just don't like remember. I didn't remember all the details, but I remember that part, and I thought that part was in Screwed for some reason. Um, but yeah, I saw it in this. I was like, ridiculous, just ridiculous. I mean, come on, you guys, ridiculous. That's whenever you were saying you couldn't do a good Norm Macdonald. That's what I was gonna say. This is my ridiculous. Just,
ridiculous.
that's
Uh,
ridiculous.
yeah, oh yeah, because he comes back, he's like
He's
he's not
pulling his pants
pulling his
up.
pants back. That's right, because he gets it's Norm Macdonald's and then Artie Lang's like or is it Sam's like I've never heard that before. You know
Yeah, he's
that's
like,
what it's known for.
so, since what prisons are famous for.
Once I did find out that they're like, I mean, I know they're brothers, but watching it this go around, I didn't pay attention that Pops, Sam, and Mitch all have kind of the same hair.
Oh yeah, they do.
I never picked up on that till this go around. Like I was like, oh, because even the dad has a little curly hair.
Yeah.
And I remember the dad, and he is from Problem Child.
Yep.
So Jack Warden, who passed away in 2006, so 8 years after his movie was made, which is still good.
I'm at the part where he's pissing off the roof. That's what I think so
That's
funny
funny.
about.
And does so okay, man, I'll talk about Jack in a little bit, but like those scenes are the ones that are really capture me where something happens off screen and then it comes back. So that guy he comes up at the top like, man, that was a lot of piss. Like he's all soaky.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like stuff like that. And then the but
Hey
there's a
man, I'm gonna kill you. Like,
or the moon scene where it's like, oh check it out, there's a line. And
Yeah, he just barks.
he was supposed to keep going. Every time I tell somebody I'm watching, every time I, that's what when we were talking about working at, like I was working at Sam's earlier. When I worked
Oh
at Sam's, that
man.
was one thing I did like about the people there. We could joke around movies, and dirty work always came up. We always do, yeah. Like there's a line like he's supposed to keep going, like you
Yeah,
know.
dude. I totally forgot about. I saw that and it just made me laugh so damn hard. Even just now, just thinking about it, just that's what's great about both these movies is you just laugh out loud
Yes.
at some of the antics and some of the stuff. Like
What?
I feel like if a movie can do that a handful of times, that's a good comedy. If I'm just like kind of snickering, it's right here. I'm actually coming to that part right now where he moons everybody. Yeah, and Norm Macdonald's just laughing. He's honking his horn like he's going along with it too, and just stops the car. Oh my god, dude! Oh yes, both of these movies just have that laugh out loud
Dude,
moment,
we're laughing
and
at it as we're watching, rewatching a little bit of it right now. Just the
oh,
scenes. We like to play the movie in the background, just to keep us like in the world of dirty work or the cinema we're watching. She's right, dude. I keep muting. I don't know if you've been catching on. I keep because I keep laughing. It's
oh,
like
I'm gonna laugh on
be-
here, man, because this is great. I love whenever they apply for construction workers. Well, we know nothing about when's lunch.
and you know what? Even that construction worker kind of didn't know shit when he was saying all that stuff. I was like, wait a minute. But then I realized he's giving him a bunch of tasks. I thought it was
I,
one. It's a bunch of little jobs he gave him. I was like, oh, okay, that's what it is. Okay.
and I love the brownie testing too. And Artie Lang is just like choking him down, and he has one little bite, and he's
Dude, as a former lab rat, I used to do the pharmaceutical things for a minute. I was young when I didn't realize I was young when I got into it, but I did it for 8 years, on and off. But I'll say that side effects, because all the stuff I did was FDA approved, so it wasn't like I was just taking Tylenol or Advil or whatnot. But there were some from drugs that they gave you. I did have I think I have like 4 or 5 side effect stories, and I'll just share this one with y'all. And I hope nobody's eating because this is gonna be a poop a poop story. But one lab study I did, a research study, we had it was explosive diarrhea was one of the symptoms.
Mhm.
And explosive, it's called explosive diarrhea because you definitely can't even hold diarrhea in. This is more like this is like force. This is like this forces. I don't want to do to it. It's bad, right? But the thing was crazy was when we were in there, it was like I don't know, it was like 30 of us, and you could kind of tell. You could see the pattern where it was like first person placebo, second person placebo. Oh, explosive diarrhea. Someone got it. They had to get up and run and leave, and then in the room, and then it's like fourth person placebo, fifth person placebo, and then it's like, oh, the sixth person. So it's like every third person. So you can't talk about it. But and then I do my number, and I'm like, great, I'm number 17. I'm getting a placebo. And then like right before they get mine, like the two people they get their vitals go too high, so they get knocked down. So I go from like 17 to 15. So I went from like possibly getting a
Oh,
placebo to definitely getting it. Oh, I got it. But I remember just sitting there and being like, I can't talk about this. But I see the pattern here. I see people getting sick because it was like you have to wait like every like they dose somebody, then 15 minutes later they dose someone else and fit. So there's a time passing, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, oh, it's gonna hit me. It's gonna get me. It's gonna come to me. But I'm sorry for anyone. I'll quit sharing that story. But that's
how bad was it?
it was bad. It was really bad because the thing that
Sorry.
sucked is that you're supine, and supine means you're laying down but you're calm but not asleep. So you have to be there for 50 minutes, and you have to lay down, and the thing hits you about 45 minutes. So you have to hold as hard as you can, and then you get done at 50 minutes. You have to get up, run to the restroom, and come back and start all over for the next hour. And you do that. We did that for like I don't know, 7 hours, 8 hours, something like that. And you're
Damn.
kind of, but after that 8 hour, like you don't really have anything to eat, so you're just water, so you're just kind of going. But the first few are like it's pretty rough. But I mean, I haven't had too many side effects. I only had like pretty much a night of drinking was way more damage than anything there. So you know what I mean? Because it's like yeah, I also drank like 30 beers. I had like 18 shots of tequila. I ate 4 burgers, and I went to Jack in the Box. It's like
Yep.
all that stuff is way worse than the pharmaceutical stuff. Well, back then I don't know now. Now since I've been a side by side detective, I would just say I will not go back if they recruited me back. I would definitely say no. And I will say that they have been trying to lure me back. I'm like, the shit that they pay now to what they paid back then is completely crazy. Like it's like 4 times, 3 to 4 times the amount they would pay for the same amount of time in. I'm like, this is insane. But anyways, I did not see Adam Sandler or Gary Coleman. I didn't
Ah,
have any
man.
side of it. One of the funny side effects I did hear about was they're looking for another way to get Viagra into the system, and they would do with a nasal spray, so it goes straight into
Oh.
your bloodstream. And they're this is like 2006, 2000 yeah, it's like 2006, and the guys that got in this study, they were called it the boner study. And these guys were placing wagers who, because it was like if you were gonna get guaranteed you were gonna get an erection, so they were trying to see who could go the longest without getting one. And then who they were playing bets like every day. It's so stupid. And I felt kind of bad though, because there's one guy that I was talking to him when I was checking in. And he was like, "Oh man, I'm in the boner study. Da da da. Can't wait to do it." And then he didn't qualify, so he didn't make it. I was like, "Oh man, the guy had like." I just sorry. So, going back to dirty work. I'm over here with the freaking butt, the moon, because I watched both these movies at the theater.
Hey,
Um,
I'm gonna let you talk for just a minute, okay?
all right, cool. I did see both these movies in the theater. Dirty Work. I remember just cracking up. What was I in junior high? It was '98, right? Yeah, so I was in junior high. It was eighth grade, and I just remember watching this movie. Just it's something unique, something different. Now that it's really putting me on a different like view for sure. Because now that I realize that Bob Saget directed this, I'm like, holy shit. Maybe I should look at see what else he's directed, because he has directed quite of I don't know. I mean, he's been around for a while. In his roast, he talks about being worth $100 million. So let's see. I just clicked him here. Let's see if he gets to his page. If not, I'll go somewhere else. There we go. Let's see what else he's directed. Well, his top four builds are Full House, Entourage, Dumb and Dumberer, and Farce of the Penguins. So let's see real quick. Let's see what else he's directed. I am on imdb.com. Let's see. Director. Oh, he has 12 director credits. He's done since 1977 through Adam's Eyes documentary short, Moving, Bob Saget in a Dream State TV special, for Hope TV movie, Jitters TV movie, and then we have Dirty Work. So 1977, 1981, 1990, 96, 97, 98. So that's what 20 years almost, yeah, 19 years. So he was at it. He's been around the biz for a minute. So then he's also done. He directed Farce of the Penguins, which I know nothing about. Benjamin, and Untitled Martin Mule documentary. So he stays busy. I want to see what this movie's about. Maybe we could ask Mr. Ben what he. Oh, he's in this show. Oh, okay. So he's 2019. It's a movie. A family calls in an intervention for Benjamin, a kid who is doing drugs. Soon it becomes clear that those who are confronting Benjamin's problem also have many problems of their own. Directed by Bob Saget, he made a movie called Benjamin.
Oh no.
It was star. I mean, this is pretty cool. It's Bob Saget. The writer is Joshua Tariq. Stars Bob Saget, Rob Corddry, and Mary Lynn Rahusp. Sorry, I can't say that word. Last name Rajskub. I speak Spanish.
And it's
Uh,
called, let's see here, Benjamin, you said?
yeah, it's Benjamin. I think it's got. I like that name because it's got the word jam in it. But then
Hey.
and then you see like his. I'm looking at Bob Saget. He's got 62 acting credits, but he's been doing stuff since the late 70s.
Family calls in accused doing drugs. Soon it becomes clear. Okay. Well, that looks like it wouldn't be terrible.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
mean it's got Kevin Pollak in it. I could just tell on the movie cover on the cover. It had let's see, Rob Corddry, Bob Saget,
Let's see
Kevin, and
here.
Kevin Pollak. He does a walk in. He does a good one.
He does. Good old. Oh, we also have a repeat offender with David Kushner. Uh
Oh yes, waiting.
yep, waiting.
Oh,
And he
hoping.
had a pretty kind of almost a similar role in this one. Well, he's a little bit more crazy in this one, but oh man, you've seen the goods, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he's fantastic in that. I love that
He
movie.
sells, man. He's a closer.
He's a closer, man. And then, oh, you have what's her name from WandaVision? Uh, I can't think of her name.
Oh,
But
and you're
anyway,
talking about In the Goods, right? Kathleen
yeah, in the
O'Hara,
goods, yeah, because and we have Jeremy Piven in the goods as well.
dude. Yeah.
Oh,
Jeremy Piven.
and we have a repeat offender with Chris Farley.
Yes, I was trying to remember. I was looking for which Farley it was because he was in a Black Sheep. Well, both of them were in Black Sheep, but this is just
Well,
him. And
yeah, I think all three Farley. Yeah, all three Farley brothers were in Black Sheep as well.
but only two of them are in this one because Chris Farley, repeat offender, my
Yeah.
Saigon whore.
Well, no, they're all three in this one too.
Where's the other one at?
They're both brothers are in the movie theater with Don Rickles.
They're both next to each other. I thought I just
Yeah.
saw. Well, maybe I need to pay attention. I thought I just
No,
saw
well,
one.
because
I just
one's
saw.
tall, one's short.
Yeah,
One's like lanky, and the other one is more Farley esque,
yeah, that's right. You could tell.
or more Chris esque because he is a Farley.
There you go.
But
Aha.
but yeah, they're both these movies. We have all three of them. Is this our first time with Chevy Chase?
I
I
believe
feel
so.
I
I
feel
had
like
him
it's
on. I had him
not.
on rewatch right now. We did Vacation, Christmas Vacation. Which I love Christmas Vacation. Those movies will always be like in my DNA because not only did I watch those when I was really small, those are only the few movies I saw with my family. So we only have like a handful of those movies.
Yeah, those
And
are always nice.
yeah, so it was always Chevy Chase. It was the Vegas Vacation. We saw Euro Trip. We saw the Christmas Vacation. Christmas Vacation was the one that after we saw in the movie theater that year. The following year, we would watch it at the house. We bought it on like VHS, and we just every Christmas just watch Christmas Vacation. Everybody get together. It's pretty fun. But look at these memories are coming back, digging deep here. No, I know Chevy Chase as I mean I mean God, he's been around for so long. I don't even know how to even like talk about Chevy Chase because if the name alone is awesome, but the fact that he plays this doctor that's like has problems, I'm like doctors always have problems. You
Yep.
know, it's like he's. I feel like this is like the realest doctor I've ever seen anybody portray like in the longest time. And keep in mind, I used to date nurses, so I was always around doctors. Um,
Doctor,
what do you,
doctor.
Doctor, concur? I concur.
I concur.
I love you. Always have. But his doctor's name is Dr. Farthing. He's always like getting into it with his bookie. Then he shows up every scene. He shows up. He's like missing. Like I just don't get is he takes your toe and you still owe him. That's just
Yeah.
not right. Like you're dealing with a
And
bookie.
at the end, he gives them the money. He's like, "No, you go pay your bookie right now." And then at the very end, it's like they still beat him to death. Anyway, he's dead. Bye now.
It's like that. Buy now. Buy. You know, it's also funny because he's like, "You bet I don't make no. You don't take it to your bookie. How much you want to bet I don't take this to my bookie?" He's trying to bet with the money there.
It's crazy, dude. But he plays that great, just like messed up doctor. I love
You
that
know,
Chevy Chase is in this too. There's a
yes.
lot of SNL, alum in this one.
I will say that with David Kirshner, I'll hopefully be seeing him soon, maybe within like a week or two. He's doing a con in San Antonio, but I don't know if I'm going or not. I might be doing a movie, so we'll see. But Christopher, this is one thing I love about Christopher McDonald's portraying this character in this scene. Travis Cole, he does. They talk about him enough. He doesn't. All he has to do is show up and be a dick, and then the kid put his finger up the thumb's ass, and I mean the dog's ass, and that's it.
Yeah.
And thumb up the dog's ass, and
I think
I'm
you're
like,
right
what-
about that, though.
yeah, and I think it's just great how he's already been able. Like he's already it's basically Shooter McGavin, you know,
Yeah,
like it's basically that character, but it's a slow twist with it where it's I mean not slow twist. There's just a little difference to him.
you don't
Uh,
think do they spell McDonald the same way, or they aren't related, aren't they?
I don't know. Let me see real quick. I got it right in front of me. His name is spelled with
Oh no.
nope. It's McDonald is for Christopher McDonald, and we have Norm MacDonald
Okay.
because I like that last name MacDonald. We have here also the Kathy character played by it's a Trylor Howard. I thought it was a Taylor, but there's an R. Trylor Howard.
Trailer.
Trailer Howard. Oh yeah, Trailer Howard, and she does a great job. I actually like her. She's not really like she's the love interest, but it's like in the world of the movie, you just know she's a love interest. You
Yeah.
don't have to like explain. He's like, and it's even
They don't have a lot of interaction either, man. He has more interaction with the prostitutes than he has with her.
Yeah, you didn't plan on me and my army of prostitutes, did you?
Right. I love how they get back with the bearded lady just by shaving her beard.
Played by Rebecca Romijn Stamos, Mystique in the original X Men
Yeah.
Mystique. Yeah, Rebecca Romijn Stamos is like was one of she's
Which
extremely
is
hot.
funny,
So
man, because they get somebody who's very good looking and just has a beard.
that's
That's
it.
funny.
It makes her hot now, but she doesn't have her powers anymore. So,
Yeah.
God, sorry, God, or bit my nose. Chris Farley
Get
is
bit
just
off my new nose.
like
I love
what?
it. I love whenever they have the fight and it's like, do you like pina colada? It's like
Oh
you hit G
God,
stuff.
that I actually played that song the other night at the tech because one of them brought up Margaritaville, so I played that song instead. If you like pina coladas. But dude, also we gotta somehow get the Club Dread this Halloween because
Oh yeah.
the Broken Lizard guys they they got their stuff going. Oh, I think I know where we can go with after this too because I kind of just I gotta we'll get there though. But
Dude, so why do you think Artie Lang doesn't have a more mainstream career?
because he's a drug addict.
Oh.
It's plain and simple, man. He's a Howard Stern. Also, he's honest. He's a Jersey guy. You can't fuck with those dudes, man. He's a man. I wish Artie Lang. It's probably he's. I mean, it's hard working with an addict while they're using. I'm pretty sure it's tough unless it's like that's when they're like their best acting, and then it's like a horrible person in reality, you know. But like
Sorry, I'm at the fish part where they
oh, the
just,
whole they
yeah.
start shooting. What smells like fish? What's that mean? Even like that scene goes. But I think Artie Lang as him, he's lovable in this movie. He doesn't really cuss or anything. I don't think he cusses. He's just like so. This leads me to this question. Well, to answer your question about Artie Lang's career, I mean he's very he'd be high risk in other words for somebody
Yeah.
to like take. That's all I'm saying. I think that's why. But I just have a fan theory question I need to ask you. Who's older, Mitch or Sam?
Um, they're probably the same age.
Yeah, but one has to be born at least an hour before the other one. They can't get
Why?
knocked. They
They
couldn't
have
get
they
got
have
knocked.
different moms.
I understand, but that means they would have to be pregnant at the same time. They'd have to be ovulating at the same time. They'd have to have a kid exactly at the same time for them to be on the same day. Even if it's on the same day, one's going to be at least if twins. There's always an older one, you know. There's always an older and a younger one. Even if
I
it's
would
like
say I would say Norm Macdonald because he takes charge of everything. It's
so.
almost like Sam's the little brother.
I got that, and then that's what I thought too. And I'm like, but in my reality, I was like, I think Sam might be the older brother, and that Mitch is the younger one. But because Sam is kind of like more like his dad, like not like Sam like Pops was happy with Sam, but then he got Mitch. He was like, oh crap, like the second one, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I was like. So I felt like I always felt like Mitch.
Well,
Was the
no,
second,
I felt like, well, all right.
like,
So if they're at the same time, then he cheated on his wife.
but it's not cheating because they say he says that she's the mom that took the picture. You know, like the mom took the picture. Like Sam's mom or Mitch's mom. Sam's mom took the picture of Mitch's mom and Pops.
Oh, well, then it was at the same. Okay, yeah.
But
So they were definitely they were conceived at the same time. That's why
they're around the same age. Yes. Let's say they're
if
both.
she's holding the picture, then I bet you she took the picture of the other act.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we know. I mean, I don't know what I'm trying to say is how to figure out which is older. And I think actually Sam's older because Pops. And then because they don't clarify this at all. Once it's like even Mitch tells them, yeah, it's like we always been brothers. Now it's just official. And then
Yeah.
you find out he had sex with his sister. Yeah,
Yeah,
they told Dave
dude.
to marry his sister.
At least it was a half sister.
Yeah, that sister. But man, but I do like Trailer Howard's like she does have like this
Yeah.
like it's like a cute thing. She's also an accountant, so she's
Yeah.
she's no dummy. She's good at numbers, and she doesn't dress too bad, you know. And I guess she comes to tell Mitch shit because I guess she likes him too. But you know that's what Sam says. Well, he likes you, you know. I'm gonna go stand over there.
No, yeah, this this movie is just it's great. Like I said, just the jokes in it, man. The little things. And also, like you said, with the Kathy character, I remember her from Monk. And
Oh,
so
that's where she's from. Okay.
yeah. Um So this is like I said, dude. That's it's funny that you mentioned like the love interest because he gets dumped at the very beginning. You don't see that girlfriend at all. Like there's no like it's like okay, this part of it's almost like this part of your life is done and you're starting anew
Yeah.
right here. And then like so did Sam not have a job? Why was he always applying with them?
I don't know.
You know,
Uh,
it was like they had to work together. Uh but no man, this is what? No way.
what?
Dude, I think I just saw one of the homeless guys in another scene. It was whenever um the bulldozer they put popcorn in the bulldozer. Let me see here. Cuz that would be funny cuz they all said that they worked for Travis Cole.
Yeah, so they'd be around that area.
So if you see them throughout the movie, yeah, cuz yeah, he that's him standing there. I guess he was like one of the yeah, has to I'm pretty sure. I don't know. That one's tough. Anyway, uh yeah, and then they get in trouble for that one because the popcorn leading to them.
I'll say that I took a lot more of this go around as I'm a lot older now, actually watching through this movie.
Hmm.
I mean, I literally I saw both these movies super early this morning, so back to back, and it is you can feel a difference in the acting between our McDonald and with this one than the other one. Um, and Screwed, you can totally feel like it's a different act, like it's like a different performance, so it's not the same character, but he still brings his Norm Macdonald charm. But in this one, it's super aware of like the charm. He's like giddy. He's playful, or and the other one he's always worried because he's like Mrs. Croc you know.
Yeah,
This one he's more like they just need 50K, and then like he's just figuring it out, and which I like they figure out how to make money, how to use things to like market their business, how to get. I mean, they do get people come in, and they
well,
like
he's
he,
not as anxious in this one, you know. Like you
yeah.
said, I think that's one thing. You know, I'm getting at like he's not just like really tied up. And that's the thing with this movie is like you feel like there's always going to be an answer to the problem. Where in Screwed is just like it keeps on folding into bigger problems.
Which I like about that in Screwed too, because now I was really going through the story. I was like, oh my god, it makes sense in a really like opposite way. Just look at it
Yeah.
backwards, and it makes so much sense. And
Hmm.
like, because that's how they're able to fill the plug. And you're like, oh, there's because at the very end, I will get when we get to Screwed. I did, one of the lovers. He's like, there's the brains behind it. That we found the brains. Like they're looking,
Yeah.
just like, but it wasn't them. It was coincidence. All this shit's all coincidence.
Yeah, right, dude.
Uh,
It's hilarious, man.
man,
Just just how it's almost like a Fargo kind of movie,
yes.
you know, where everything just keeps on going wrong and wrong and wrong, and you're getting to the end, and you're like, is there resolution to this? Yeah, yeah. So that is one of this homeless guy.
So he's
He was
actually he's hanging out at.
he was in the meeting, and then at the end, he's yeah. He said, by the end of the day, I'd like to make Martin jobless, homeless, and
Oh,
penniless.
so you get to see him again. He is
You
out
s-
there.
yeah, you see him later on in the film.
Awesome. They did. That's cool. That's awesome. That's meta as hell,
See,
man.
yeah, dude, and that's yeah, it's
That's
what you.
awesome.
I didn't even realize that until I'm watching it just now.
I think
I'm, I'm
I
at
know
the ridiculous.
with this
I got a
ridiculous.
good mind to. I got a good mind to go to the warden with
Go to the
this.
warden with this.
You
Like
know
if
what
you're
hurts? You know, you know what hurts the most? It's the lack of respect. Oh, that hurts second most.
and he goes in. He goes. I told you guys. I'm at the part where they have the fish. He goes. Man, stop the noise, but not this. Yeah, can we get paid now? Like,
Yeah.
we gotta refill them, dude. No,
Well, it's funny. It's funny. They get released right after that happens to him. So if he'd only been released a little bit earlier,
well, I mean, he technically, I don't know how much time passes, but he was getting the deed the whole time. So, they got him right away. They would have to let him go. They would have put him in, have to turn around, get him, let him go. They didn't do that.
he's
He got in there. And they got him right away. After he explains to Sam what happens in prison,
yeah,
which there's a lot of little similarities in this movie to the other movie, but they're also
yeah.
not the same. They're not same writers or anything. So, it's
No,
a
and you feel for Willard. I love whatever Chris McDonald is like pointing to the map, and he holds the dog up to it. He doesn't even. He just holds the dog up to the map. Um, but yeah, man, in this movie, I don't know. I don't feel like empathy towards either one of the characters, whereas in Screwed, I do. Like I'm feeling like, oh man, this guy, he's just trying his best, and this lady's just shitting all over him. And in Dirty Work, they're just kind of shitting all over everybody, and they're just going through life, man. It's like they have a plan of what they want to do, like they have an idea of where they want to go in Dirty Work. Um, but with Screwed, man, it's just like everything's out of their control. They setting stuff in motion that's just
Hold on,
that
I
they
think let me correct that real quick, just because I think it's funnier this way if you say like, because it seems like they don't have a plan in Dirty Work, and they kind of figure it out organically. But it's Screwed, they have a plan, but it doesn't go the way they plan.
yeah, that is pretty funny.
So, but
Yeah.
the thing I love about Dirty Work and watching it again, like I said, this go around, I'm actually at the prison scene, and I already noticed when they shut the gate. Mitch starts like shaking, and Sam's like, "Okay, like you don't care," because he's oblivious to it. Because they're not gonna do it to him because they call him fatty, like that. They want
Yeah.
the small one.
Well, dude, and Sam's always getting away with stuff too. Like I said, he's always getting away with really not getting his ass beat up too much, whereas Mitch is always getting, beat up, thrown out, and everything like
So
that.
I
The
guess
only time,
the balance
what's
is like
that?
it's punched in the stomach, huh?
Yeah, it's not a whole bunch of balance, but it does. Like I said, that's the only time that Mitch didn't get screwed over. Essentially, is whenever, like I said, he had it in writing that he wasn't going to get screwed over.
Yeah, I do like that these are brothers, and I keep man, I watch this more now. I mean, now I'm watching it right now. I'm just seeing them as brothers. It's a little bit more. It's like more wholesome for me, like, but that little twist. It's silly, but like it makes the story just a little bit different. Like it makes me feel like they do care about each other, even though they didn't think they were brothers, and they once they found out, it is kind of weird though. Like you find out your best friend's your brother, and like in your 30s, that's gonna
Yeah,
be a little. That's gonna be a little bit. But I've already been around you the whole time, all my life. Like what the hell? But also too like with the what was I gonna say the way that the story is for this one is like they're in their 30s. I had that like Clerks 2 feeling where they said the time was behind us. Now time was
yeah,
ahead of us. Now this kind of like he doesn't know what he's doing, but as soon as a problem comes around, he starts solving it. And I think that he doesn't realize that's his problem. That is his. Oh, you're absolutely right. There he is with his hair slicked back and everything.
yep.
So he's the guy. Travis Cole is the one that.
And
It's
he's
him.
he's from Billy Madison as well. He's one of them. Yeah,
Is he the guy that does the competition at the end? That
yeah. May
everyone's
God have
dumber
mercy on your
on your
soul.
soul.
Yeah.
That's him, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's cool. Happy Madison. So Happy Madison's already around. So they're just kind of picking off a little bit of people from here, or
But
maybe they're
this wasn't a
sharing.
Happy Madison production, oddly enough.
That's what I'm amazed it's not. What was this? You said Screwed was Universal, right?
Yeah, yeah. This one was the tiger or the lion, Metro Goldwyn.
Okay.
I mean, they're still a big company too. It's just I don't know.
Well, you're starting to see what movies you get from
Different
your
companies.
yeah, the opera singer. That was funny. That-
Yeah,
Here,
just
do you
make
care
them
for?
leave
Hey,
me alone.
you're fat. Would you care for for a delicious? Um, let's see. What does he say? I was gonna say. I was going into trivia for Dirty Work real quick. I just kind of wanted to see what they had there for the trivia. Hey Aldo, he said he called. Like he goes, hey, they called. They told us fat sweaty. he's like, yeah, the guy called. He said you're late. All right, so here it goes. Chris Farley's last film, but he wasn't included in the credits. He would die of a drug overdose about 6 months before this picture was released. Damn, so he's putting this one out after the grave.
Yeah, I didn't. I was expecting to see in like loving memory of Chris Farley and everything. I didn't see that though.
So check this out. It says here Howard Stern was supposed to do the cameo of Satan, but it was turned down. But he turned it down, and Adam Sandler did it. I was like, I thought Adam Sandler was perfect.
Yeah, right. I thought so too. There's one about Artie Lang. You want to read that one?
Was it with him and Chevy Chase?
Yeah,
Where it says Artie Lang was wary of working with Chevy Chase after having heard many stories from friends and colleagues about Chase's nastiness. But in his book, Too Fat to Fish, Lang recounted that he loved working with Chase and they became good friends. Lang also recounted that Chase warned him that MGM, I think that's the Lion one, right? MGM
Yeah.
would force them to make the film PG-13 rated for the release, even though it was written and filmed as a rated R film, and told him, sorry, the fight, the move, I'm sorry, the R, but the studio ultimately refused because they said that there was not a large audience for rated R comedies at the point. So this is a first of its own. As Lang sadly noted in his book, Dirty Work was ultimately moved to an earlier release date in part to stay clear of There's Something About Mary. Ooh, smart move. Which was not only a R-rated comedy, but became one of the 19th. God dang it. 98 big blockbuster and revived the entire R-rated comedy genre. So this could have been one of those, the first one to do it, huh?
Yep. But instead, it was PG-13.
And you know what's funny? When I'm starting to find out about like the way people talk about Chevy Chase, it's like I wouldn't mind hanging out with Chevy Chase if he's real, if he's an I don't care if he's an asshole, but if he's real, it doesn't bother me. You know, so Artie Lang, I could see Artie Lang being like, oh, and then him hanging out with Chase, and Chase is not like, judging, not judging him or anything.
Listen to this. This film flopped at the box office, not even making back its negative cost. Ugh.
I haven't even checked that yet. Let's find that out. Let's see what it made. Whoa, this movie cost 13 million, only made 10 million.
Damn.
Why? I know I contributed to that, so I'm happy about it. But,
Yeah, right?
so I watched it. Yeah, I watched this in the theater. I saw this at the Dollar Theater too. I really like it is cool to go back and watch a throwback, at the Dollar Theater when if you're or wherever if they're affordable to show like matinee prices or whatnot. But I mean, Dirty Work is this does have like that. I mean, I think the writer did write Joe Dirt, Fred Wolf. So I'll say that like it does have like that coming to 2000s feel. Like I said, it's a little bit ahead of its time. I honestly think this might have been because Something About Mary is definitely
Yeah.
it's definitely like one of the pioneers for the R. But I'm like, damn, if this was written like that, but they made it PG-13. It's not producers, man. They're just trying to make their money back. All right, let's keep going. Let's move on to Screwed because I have a feeling we have to cut this episode short.
Yeah. So I wanted one more. Norm Macdonald never wanted to star in the film. He wrote the movie with the intention of directing it.
What happened? Does it say anything there?
No, it didn't say anything after that. But yes, on to Screwed, man. This one definitely feels like a major motion major motion picture.
Yeah.
You have Danny DeVito, in there. You have Dave Chappelle, Norm Macdonald, and they're just it's like
Yeah.
Norm Macdonald. The Jeffersons. What's his name?
Sherman Hemsley.
Sherman Hemsley. Who else? That wasn't the detective wasn't. No, he wasn't from Back to the Future, was he? He was from
No,
something
no,
else.
no, no, no.
Oh, he's from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Yes. Yeah, he's the villain.
Yeah.
Let me check. Yeah, okay, let me see. I haven't even. Let me see.
And I think
You're
he's
right.
German for real. He just did a voice in this one.
Oh, because he's from Bond. A View to Kill. That's his number one. Then he has
Okay.
Murder One, Murder at 1600, and NYPD Blue. So he was like, so yeah, because this I was gonna say these are probably a lot of these comedies. They get a lot of older actors to come out in them that did like something serious. I mean, you also have Lachlan Munro. He was in Scary Movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a repeat offender, and how he goes, how's he go? it's like being in a wheelchair, man. You want to make fun of a guy in a wheelchair? It's like, so Dave Chappelle's in this. Oh man, Chappelle. This is where I start to see the Dave Chappelle comedian because I've been following Chappelle since forever. Def Jam and since I was a kid, and I'll say this is where I start seeing all the stuff he starts talking about, like on Inside the Actor Studio and how come producers do this and production companies do this and whatnot. And as I'm seeing him play this guy, he's trying really hard to play this Rusty character as just a worrywart and not like some stereotype of anything,
Yeah.
And I can see how he's coming into that because he does. He kind of
Well,
has this.
I love too whenever he's like, whenever I get this money, I'm gonna laminate my menus.
Yeah, that joke cracked me up. Laminate.
And like that's what they would do with 50,000. And then whenever it's like more and more, then his dreams get bigger, too. He's like, oh, I'll open up another location in somewhere that's not Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and he's got this Rusty character, which is like because also in Blue Streak he kind of plays the same. Where Martin Lawrence, he kind
Yeah.
of plays the other like his cousin, and he's like, I want my cut. He's just kind of like always talking about his cut. And this one, he's just kind of like it's weird because this is what you said about Norm Macdonald and Dirty Work. That's what I feel about Dave Chappelle and Screwed. Like it's very very loosely Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Because you see a lot of these characters in the Chappelle show afterwards. Like you see this is kind of like the origin of it, where he comes in. That's my opinion, but I own the Chappelle show, and I've watched it growing up, and I always
And
watch it.
this was 2000 too. Like these movies were 2 years apart. So this was like Norm Macdonald's hot streak. Like these were the two movies to launch his career.
Yeah.
As far as film goes, like for SNL cast members, it's like Adam Sandler. You launch off Adam Sandler, then you launch off Norm Macdonald.
Well, yeah, these guys are very.
Dave Chappelle's is an up and comer too, really hitting it. I mean, he's a repeat offender as well with Nutty Professor from our original show. Uh, so this
Reggie,
is
you got
Danny.
shitlocks.
Yeah, you is this is our first Danny DeVito,
I believe
right?
so.
Uh, if I'm thinking correctly. Oh
Damn,
nope,
damn.
Space Jam. Space Jam.
Oh yes, yes,
Yep,
he's a voiceover. Dang, but he looks like the damn voice.
I know, dude.
Yeah, so we
Um,
so yeah, so he's been on here. He's been on the show before. Sarah
and then
Silverman's first timer. But
I
I'm
think
I'm not a
so.
big
Yeah.
I'm not a big Sarah Silverman. Like I don't know much about her. So I just remember her being like a few comedies being kind of the hot chick, and then I don't know. She kind of I don't know much about her.
I was going to see this Elaine Strict, who plays Mrs.
Miss Croc. Miss
Miss
Croc.
Croc. Yeah, I was going to see she's a sort of big actress. She's got,
I
let's see
think
how
she.
many credits she has. 81. It's not bad.
Let's see. I think she was in. Let me just make sure. It's like in the '80s movie. Okay, she's never mind. She's in Cocoon: The Return. I was thinking she was in. Oh God, Julie Roberts movie. That's still Magnolias, is it? Or no? Yeah, no, she is. No, she's in still. Oh, the TV movie Still Magnolias. It says right here, but I didn't know that. She's
Yeah.
also in Cadillac Man. Have you seen Cadillac Man?
No, I haven't.
That's a great movie. It's Robin Williams, Tim Robbins. It's a short movie, but it's basically Robin Williams you let loose as a used car salesman, and
Ooh.
unlike Jeremy Piven's character as a like hardcore car salesman, like you
Uh huh.
feel it. This is the one where you feel the humanity of a person before you see the title. Robin Williams does a really good job. Where Jeremy Piven, he's doing the whole salesman thing.
Yeah.
Where Robert Williams, this one is like, and I love Jeremy Piven's performance in The Goods, but in this one is more like where Robin Williams has the man. This would be a good side by side, Cadillac Man and The Goods because it's a used
Ooh,
car,
that is
but
good.
that would be a good one. Maybe we could write that down for later. I don't know. Maybe when we're done. I don't know. But it's a great understanding of like taking an environment and kind of switching it around a little bit. Kind of like in Screwed. Like it's a crime. Like this is what we noticed. It's a crime movie and it's a comedy, crime comedy.
Yeah.
But the way everything just kind of what do you call it falls in place for
Balls.
them.
Yeah.
And at the
Oh.
very end, they were saving me.
Yeah, dude, and it all works. Like that's the thing is like you don't feel like it's all gonna work out. You really don't like you feel like, oh man, this
Oh,
is
it gets me with the how is this gonna work out? Huh? Remember like a guy thing is like it's kind of a crime comedy. It is crime comedy, I believe, because
uh
there's like
the one with Jason Lee.
yeah. I
What
think
was the
it's
crime part of that?
I
I don't
think
remember.
I think there's like I think there's a cop after him or something.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember, but a soon-to-be husband wakes up in the morning after his bachelor party in bed with another woman. Yeah, I think there's a cop in there that
Uh
I look Lachlan he's in the too, but I think the guy I think it's I mean this is like a kind of who done it kind of story. Even though I didn't even say anything for this, it doesn't even tell you what it is if it's a comedy or a drama or anything. Anyways, I just looked it up just to see if I can compare it. But I feel like Screwed had that. If I'm not mistaken, a guy thing kind of had like the you put it together kind of thing. Almost kind
yeah.
of also like in like Deuce Bigelow, you kind of put together like it's like the was name William Forsythe's character's after him because he
Uh-huh.
knows he's a prostitute and he's just after him because he knows he's a prostitute, so he wants to get him and bust him. And what do you think about this? Let me show you this. And he goes, it's not too small, it's too thin. like, like those quotes are hilarious, man. Um, but the movie this is a what's it say? Screwed. Everyone gets it in the end, which makes sense. It makes
Yeah.
sense. Everyone,
You know
everyone.
what I thought was really interesting is so this is 2000 movie, right? And yeah, the internet is still,
Oh yes, let's
blossoming.
talk about that. Let's talk about that.
Yes. So whenever they upload the video to the internet, I mean, could in 2000 could you do that? Would that be plausible to
Yes,
get that kind of
yes,
quality
yes.
over the internet?
Yes, I will say you could. But I'll say that it was only be a selective crowd who say it, but they did that over the news. They broadcast it over
Yeah.
the news. But
And they
also,
and even the news said like this was emailed to us. Like they made a point of it was almost like I don't even know, man. I thought it was very interesting. I thought it was an interesting scene.
but you know what I got out of this? I got cancel culture out of this. Because there's a part there where they're saying like we're not gonna buy your pies anymore, and then they start like because you're not gonna get your like she's not gonna get Willard back, and
Yeah.
then the people the customers start complaining, so she's like, oh crap, I gotta do it, because
See, but back then, I don't even feel. Do you feel like that's cancel culture?
yes, of course that is. It's what do
That's.
you
I feel like
what do
that's
you
protest against big.
what do you think? Oh come on, man, what do you think?
No,
What do you think?
no,
What do you think? Boycotting is?
it's not cancel
It's
culture.
cancel culture. It's to an extreme.
I mean, that's.
What's
I
boycotting?
think no, but cancel culture is. I feel like exclusively over
what's
social media.
what's no, but I'm talking about this is there is no internet like there was before, like it is now. So
I
there's a cancel
Yeah,
culture. So now there's just more
but
people able to
it's
access.
But see, that's the difference between the internet and actually go. Because if you actually go out and protest, then that means you have to take your time to go out and do something. Whereas if you're doing just like I said, that's why I say cancel culture is more of the
A
internet
boycott.
thing because it is. But it's easier to just like, yeah, I agree, or and write something down instead of actually because they go out and that's why I think there's a difference between boycotting and cancel culture. I think the idea. I think what you're getting at is yes, they have similar
I
traits about them, but I don't think they're the same thing.
okay. Well, you're gotta take what I'm
Maybe I
saying. You're kind of
okay.
not understanding it. So there is no cancel culture, so to speak, but it's got to come from somewhere. This is
Yeah,
the beginning parts of it. Cancel culture is boycotting. If you Ben start selling ice cream outside your house, and then some business you start and it starts getting popular and then people start this Ben sells this best this it's better than Ben and Jerry's. This is just called Ben's. This is the best ice cream ever. And then all of a sudden you piss someone off and that person gets pissed off at you and they say you know what, stop going and eating at Ben's, and they decide all right, we're gonna boycott it. That's cancel culture. So if you don't this since they don't have internet and not everybody in this time frame the year 2000 have handheld devices, this is the other way they do it, through the media, through newspaper, through something. But they just you start boycotting it. That's basically what cancel culture is. The only difference is the big difference I would say is cancel culture happens immediately, where boycotting is like a plan. Because if you for you to say to
well,
go protest and
and,
whatnot, you want to go
and
do that. But also protest could be there's also like silent protests. I just don't have to buy your products anymore. I don't have to tell you. I just won't buy them anymore.
yeah, but that's just a
That's a
conscientious decision on your part.
uh,
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like but it's okay. So cancel culture, the main thing that comes to mind whenever I think of that is Johnny Depp. All right, is he got canceled and still is getting canceled because his previous wife abused him,
hey,
and
that's a thing. That's a
it
thing.
is and that's what I'm saying is like, well, allegedly abused. I want to
Yes,
speak
yes.
out of turn here, but there seems to be more evidence mounting towards the fact that she was abusive as opposed to him, which is what she claimed. So he was taken out of the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Him 3, where he was going to be probably one of the main villains. I haven't seen the second one, so I don't know what his fate ends up, but he was a main villain in that. Um, there are a couple other movies that he has gotten taken out of. And so if someone were to boycott, uh, so you're
You're walking
saying
down a
you're
slippery slope there, my friend. You
yeah, okay,
watch it.
no, just okay. So you're what you're equating it to is that cancel culture is the modern day boycotting. That's what
Yeah,
you're saying.
exactly. It's exactly what that is.
Okay,
Let me help
but
you out here.
okay, so
Let me help
boycotting
you meet.
before, I
Let me
just
help you. Let me help you. Like maybe I'm saying this wrong, so let me help you. Kind of help me help everyone that's
yeah
listening. Cancel culture on UrbanDictionary.com is a modern internet phenomenon where a person is ejected from influence or fame by questionable actions. It
yeah
is caused by a critical mass of people who are quick to judge and slow to question. It is commonly caused by an accusation, whether that accusation has merit or not. It is the direct result of ignorance of people cause. Okay, well, he's gonna cause communication technologies outpacing the growth in the available knowledge of a person. Now here's boycotting: withdrawal from a commercial or social relations with a country, organization, or person as a punishment or protest. What's the difference? It's super simple. You actually said it earlier. The internet. That's the only difference.
yeah yeah.
But that's the only a modern. It says it right there.
I
Cancel culture, a modern internet phenomenon. So the only
yeah,
difference
but
is that.
sorry, there was something in, read the cancel culture again.
What part? The whole
Sorry,
thing.
yeah, just the it should just be the beginning part.
It said
There
a
was
modern
something.
internet. Like it should just be the first sentence. A modern internet phenomenon where a person is ejected from influence or fame by questionable actions.
So that one, it's where someone is ejected, whereas boycotting is just somebody protest. I feel like cancel culture is whenever you know what I'm saying. Okay, because
I get where you're coming from, Ben. I totally get
I,
where you're
I
coming
I
from.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I think I think there's a boycotting has evolved. Oh, excuse me, has evolved into this. I don't think you actually, but if somebody was boycotting something, maybe I'm misconstruing boycotting and protesting.
Let me tell you this real
I
quick.
think that's what I'm doing. I think I'm just intertwining the two, and that's
I
where I'm getting
I
thrown
think the
off.
side by side guys, we literally took the question, what came first, the chicken or the egg, and
Yeah,
we scrambled it.
yeah. Sometimes I just like to disagree with you, and then we can go on a
See
little
that
offshoot.
I think that's what it was, and then I gotta come and pull out my bullshit, and I gotta be hold on, Benjamin, because you're gonna confuse me later when I start telling somebody, hey, well, guess what? On side by side, I know they're gonna kick my ass.
But yeah, no. But cancel culture, somebody gets ejected, and boycotting, you're just silently protesting, as you kind of said earlier. Where that's where I feel like the difference really comes in
Well,
is
I mean,
where
I don't want to go too far
there's
to
somebody really effective. Whereas boycotting, I feel like can be effective, or it depends on how many people are boycotting. But on the internet, everybody can like hop on board and be like, "Yeah, that's terrible. What you doing?" Before anything really comes out. Whereas boycotting, I feel like you have to get the information first. You know
there's well, I mean, that's the main thing is
what?
they're both made off what do you call it?
Split,
Accusations.
yeah, accusations and um, jumping to
Yeah,
conclusions.
exactly, and it even says it here
Yeah,
on the. I don't use Urban Dictionary too much, but I do know that's a. I'd have to use that definition to be the best way to find it for me. But it says it here where it even says people cause communication technologies outpacing the growth in individual knowledge of a person. So it's like bullshit can fly farther, can fly faster than the person can. So
yeah,
your bullshit can get around all over you before you even realize it. Which I'm at the scene now where it's screwed, where they start stealing the dog, and then
yeah. And
it
they're
bites its
throwing.
head. I
Yeah,
didn't,
I was. Oh,
I
dude,
didn't.
I'm at the part where they're getting the hot dog and he hits
Yeah.
the dentures the first time.
So check this out. I didn't even pay attention all these times I've seen this movie. That so now we're back on the movie. So I didn't even notice that when Mrs. Croc or Miss Croc comes down the stairs to see everything in the morning, it does look like a. It looks like Willard did get kidnapped,
Yeah,
and all the
yeah.
movement. I never paid attention. I was just laughing that she never wakes up. So I was like, okay, but then you really look at everything. You could put it together, like it's like a crime scene. Like he did really, dude. His blood's everywhere.
You know what's funny too is that this bite is pretty brutal. There's a lot of blood getting splattered, everything like that. but you don't see a bandage on his hand at all.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's one thing that kind of got me, and it's almost like one of those things that a detective would be like, well, "What happened to your hand?" You know,
Oh, that's
and
true.
especially somebody who's so attentive to
I didn't.
detail.
That's a good point. I actually never thought about
Not
that.
to put plot holes in a in a movie where they try to
Well,
kidnap a dog and end up kidnapping the person.
themselves. So that's even funny that you just say like if you're to tell me, can you watch Screwed? What's it about? It's about a guy who tries to steal a millionaire's dog, but ends up kidnapping himself. Which gets
Yeah.
like, how does that work out? Well, he's the chauffeur. It's the butler.
Right, dude. And it's so funny, dude. Like he just wants one thing. He just wants a new suit. Like he's getting shit on the entire time and he just wants a new suit. And if she'd just given him this new suit, none of this would have ever happened.
So what I will notice is in a comparison from Dirty Work to Screwed, man, they're completely different movies, but you get a lot more single shots of your actors because you're paying them to come out in it. So that's why Dave Chappelle is probably he's still an up and comer, but he's already done like Robin Hood Men in Tights. I think
Yep.
may did he do Half
Nutty
Baked?
Professor. He'd already been in that.
So yeah, and I think Half Baked was I think 2000 as
I think
well.
no, I think it was 99. I think he was in
99,
the
it
90s.
was in the
Let me
90s,
look it
right?
up. It might have been 98
It might
too.
be 98, yeah, yeah. So put it this way: so Chappelle's already getting around, and I've noticed
Yeah,
that
it was
we're
98.
yeah, cool. So 98, right? So it's already been 2 years, so he's already getting around. So I noticed that with this movie, you get a lot more individual shots of the close-ups of these characters. Where in Dirty Work, it was always like Mitch and Sam were always together, and you had a lot of these shots. But then you involved them in their environment. Where this one, you're just getting a bunch of cutaways. I totally understand what you mean. This is a film. I get it.
Yeah.
I see. I feel like this movie. You're right. I was a little bit. I feel like it could have been. It feels a little forced. It feels like
Mhm.
the story, the way they told this story, they kept it in that dark mystery element, and they just let the slapstick stuff happen. And I think that's why it has that real more film grade to it, that film feeling to it.
And it is a pretty like intricate story. Like it's one of those. This is a movie where you can just put it on after you've seen it, but you really have to follow it
Yeah,
because
you do.
it's kind of jumps around and this person's doing this. It's almost like one of those whodunits. Like, oh, okay, well, this there wasn't any money in there, and this person's getting information here, and you really don't have like the viewer doesn't really have all the information either.
Yeah,
Uh, but you do kind of get that with what's his name, Oswald.
yeah,
Yeah, and he has his lover, and then they get the money, and it's marked bills, and then it's just like one thing happens after another. It's a very tight story. Like there's not a lot of wasted time on anything but progressing the story. You
yes.
know?
And I like the fact that the detective does actually help with that part of the story where he helps it going. I mean, it was Daniel Benzali,
Yeah.
Detective Tom Dewey. His character is just kind of like a heartburn. He's just kind of like else like, oh, come on, let's just keep going with this. Go like, wait, it doesn't make sense. That doesn't add up. Like he's able to like solve the problem right away, but it just doesn't work. I do like the fact I'm right here where they see the so this is like pre-internet stuff. This is what I was trying to pick out with the cancel culture thing because here you see where you see him. He's what do you call it? Like missing, and they get not they don't just get one paper. They get all the papers. You know.
Yeah, and then they
So
throw them all
they
away
throw
and
him
just
away, and that's like a thing. I remember that. Like I mean, there's a part two where Grover, when he's walking out and he starts seeing the wanted signs. I'm like, damn, that was like somebody went and did that. Nowadays, you just do a post and everybody like see that's the thing about it. Let's say the timing. That's what I'm trying to say. The way you would do it back then, you would just boycott somebody. You wouldn't cancel culture them. Now you do cancel culture them because of the internet. It's so much easier
Mhm.
to just be like, no, 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 no. Oh, they did what? I don't do that stuff either. I'm perfect. You know, it's
Well,
like,
yeah, and that's the thing. That's the difference with this one too. Is like you hear her say, "No, we're not." Like it's on the news. She's plain and simple said it. We're not going to pay that ransom. And these people are like, "Well, first off, Sarah Silverman gets it together, and she's like, "Well, that's not right. You need to pay this money. You're making a lot of money." Like that's I love it. It's like we kidnapped a turd. But whereas Mrs. Crop could have got canceled by something that she didn't even do or allegedly done. Whereas in this case, she straight out said it. Yeah, I guess that's where I kind of I don't know, man.
she just reminds me of Barbara
Yeah.
D, or what's her name? That's that lady that got canceled for using the N word, and
Oh, Paula Dean.
Paula Dean. That's just the same thing. Like if Paula Dean
Everybody
was
should have known she was using that all the time. Anyway.
everybody should have known. It's right there.
Yeah.
It's but
Listen to her accent. All right.
it's too hard on the South letters. But with the consonants, I just think with her, that's why I was kind of saying like how Paula Dean got canceled, and I was like, this is what they kind of make her like, kind of forces her because the society, because I mean, you know, her clients or her customers, whatever, if they stop buying her stuff, they wouldn't be available anymore. And then you have a Chip. I never trust a black man named Chip. When he when Chip comes out and it shows talking about how like I've worked there for so long, and and even like his husband's like, yeah, you've done it. You're the one that's done everything. Yeah, she's crazy. But even at that, at the end of the day, what all the business that I've done, everybody I've worked with, you know, family, mom and pop, corporate, whatever, like if you're not satisfied where you're at, then it's up to you to figure out how to get on, you know. And
Well,
if you expect someone to like give you something, or if you have a shitty boss, then don't work with your shitty boss. But I've learned a lot from shitty bosses. When I go do my boss, I just don't act like a shithead. That's
yeah.
the big. I've learned a lot from like shit people because it's hard to be around them, and I'm like, well, I'm stuck with you. And then you start learning it, and you're like, oh, I don't have to be their best friend, but I understand what they're doing, so I'm just gonna take what I can, learn that I don't need to be like that, and I'll turn around. But then sometimes, you know, I'm doing something, a project, and somebody doesn't do their job, and then they show up, and I'm like, why'd you show up empty-handed? And then they're like, well, you know, and then you get upset, and they're like, well, why are you getting upset? Well, I'm in charge, I'm the boss. Like, falls back on me. Like, I should have got someone that could have done their part. If you're not gonna be reliable, then I'm not gonna work. I'm not gonna put time into, you know. And that's
Yeah.
what I think when I see stuff like that, you know, if you're at a job you don't like or trying to figure it out, like it sucks. Everyone goes through it, so it's not you're not alone. But two, like, you know, if it's just money you seek after, then seek money. But I think this whole thing with him, he was seeking respect. He was seeking validation from. But it's like kind of, and that's another thing, kind of a mother figure. He doesn't have a father in this. His character doesn't have a father either, or he had a father, didn't have a mother. But he lost his father, then he's by himself. For the other one, he lost his mother and grew up without a father. So both of his characters are kind of like, and that's still kind of like that world. And I wonder if Norm Macdonald's. I mean, I have to do a little research. I wonder if he was
Here's a fan theory. Do you think if Mrs. Croc was attracted to him, that he would have been all right?
Oh, because he would have got head.
Yeah. But that's why Oswald is bitching and complaining all this time too, because
he doesn't get head.
well, no, he is. He's the lover boy. That's what Oswald's there for.
No. Oswald doesn't do. Does he do it with Mrs. Croc?
Yeah, dude. He's all lovey
Hold
dovey
on,
with
Ben.
her.
I don't want to go into one of your fan theories where you just
No,
you know,
dude. Him and
I don't-
Mrs. Croc are together. That's they I feel like they made
So
that
he's hiding.
pretty.
He's hiding the gay thing, huh?
Yeah. And he's
Yeah,
doing
that's true.
like because I mean, okay, so you're saying that she's not doing anything with Oswald, and then she just goes to Grover Cleaver, which is Grover Cleveland. I like that. That's really close.
well, she's older, so I didn't know.
And
I
look,
think
even on the computer it says try the internet, and then it just says downloading. Like it's so. I just don't see how that. Like the first off, the camera wouldn't have a plug-in to do anything to that computer. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
no, it was.
or
It was okay.
is this plausible for
Okay,
2000?
I get what you're saying.
No.
I get what you're saying. Okay. Let me clean this up real quick. Okay, in the year 2000, with this movie being made, it is possible, but it does not look like that. It does not look clear like that. But it is possible because there will be no iPhones right now if there wasn't it wasn't around. You know.
Yeah.
So there was a that's what it does possible, but doesn't look like that. It'd be more like grayed out, and you know, because actually, you know, if you want to get technical with it, they're shooting film on film and to make it video, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like you could downgrade as much as you want, but I think the fact that everybody in this movie, it's like, I mean, I don't ever actually see her doing any dumb mistakes or anything. I just see her being a little bit selfish, but I don't see Miss Croc. Like,
Yeah, no, she's
just
a total bitch.
yeah, but we see that as a viewer. I wouldn't see that as a client or as a as a passerby. I'm just saying, like, you see, like, oh, see, that's the other thing.
This is okay. So this is Mom from Futurama. That's what you're getting at.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, totally.
All right.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. That's what.
Yeah, you're saying that we as a viewer get an insight that the public in this
Yeah, and that's why
movie
you have
does not.
And that's why you have a public. That's why you have a public view in here. That's what I'm trying to say. This is kind of like the internet before the internet. It's just everything's
Yeah.
just it's just all put up.
Like I said, even on the computer, it said try the internet. Like it was this brand new shiny thing. Golly.
I think. I mean, it is. Like I'm sorry. Like I mean, there's a big jump. I mean, this is how people were doing. Look, they're protesting. People still protest now. They just do whatever the hell they want to do. They're just doing it for different reasons. I mean, but this I see this though because why is the Sarah Silverman character boycotting in the first half in the beginning? Like why is she?
Because she dated him.
Oh, and she knows how she's really like.
She knows that she probably knows that he gets beat down by her. Like she probably that's
So, but
like I
I'm saying,
said, they were.
but that's not
What's
the
that?
reason for the boycott, is it? I mean, for the help.
Well, no, the boy,
protest, for the
the
protest. I mean,
protest
for the
is
protest.
because she's not paying the ransom.
Ah, that's why she goes okay, and so that's even funnier because they all think, see, you got to watch this, you got to watch this in layers because now they think that he's being held ransom, that Willard he's running around like, but also because there are no camera phones or people can take pictures of you and all that, they don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
Can you
it
imagine?
seems like a relatively small town, or at least a big town in a small little community.
Yeah, and I mean also the thing about this, my son's was raised, he's born in technology, so I'm trying to limit him as much as possible because it's all over the place, but it's super easy to learn. But for child development, I think, and this is my opinion, anybody, I don't know much, but I think it's good for them to just kind of like, what do you call it, not do a lot of like the stuff we're doing now, like don't do this till you're older. But like I think it's because what am I trying to go with this? I was just saying like the fact that the internet is just so easy nowadays. Like everybody's around it. Back then, only if you could afford it. Or
Yeah.
at that, you could only afford a computer, and if that, your computer had to work to the Ethernet, or not even the dial-up.
No, yeah, the dial-up back then
Yeah.
didn't even have Ethernet. Well, it might have, I just didn't know about it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, for what yeah, I just think I didn't even realize that watching it this go around that I was like, man, there's a lot of like internet influence in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So I mean, I'm literally like, probably, I paused it a little bit, so I'm trying to catch up with you. So is the detective at the
Yeah,
Rusty's
I'm
skit?
right.
Yeah, okay.
He just showed up.
Look, so look at Chappelle. Look at the way Chappelle is. Look at the way he's just like all nervous. Like there's so many
Yep.
ways he could take this, but he keeps it more grounded and just little spurts here and there. It's kind of like a radio wave.
Yeah, he does, but that's that's the
So damn
great thing
funny.
about this movie, is like it's almost like well, first off, he is guilty, guilty of, well, not even guilty, but they are part of the crime, like
Yeah.
that, and so you feel his anxiety of getting caught, but he just overdoes it so much that you take yourself out of it.
What
You
I
can
love.
just experience it for him. And
Exactly, and that's what I love about what do you call it? The detective. He knows they're lying to him, but he can't prove it. And
yeah,
he only goes by what he can prove, and when he proves, it just makes Chip go to
well,
go.
and whenever he gets them into the police station, like he questions them, and he just keeps on catching them in lies.
Well, they
Like,
both have two off lies. Like
yeah. Well, I mean, even that, he's like, and I got in my truck. Oh, never mind. I ran. Like he got him in that lie. Like he knows, he just can't prove it. So he's just waiting. He's just playing a waiting game.
he waits and he waits and he waits. Yeah, I mean, God, this is I knew this was gonna happen with this because this is a mystery, like not mystery. It's a crime.
Like a
So,
who done it.
who done it, right?
Yeah.
So we do have, there is a lot to plot. You have to follow it. Where dirty work, man, you could just watch the scenes and they're just hilarious. Like
Yeah,
yeah.
and with Screwed too is like you see he's like, all right, he finally has the money. It's like, okay, how's this gonna go? And then he gets attacked by 12-year-olds, and then they steal the money from him.
Hey, Mister, what's in the briefcase?
And then they go to the airport without even checking the briefcase.
Oh God,
And then you're like, cabbage. Just
it's '90s, bro. I do like the mother, how she whoops the son's ass to like. I was like, oh shit, that remind me of my mom.
right.
I was like, oh
Dude,
God.
so, and why do you think Sarah Silverman's character went along with it?
I don't know, man. It hurt. I was gonna say about Sarah Silverman's character is she's kind of just there. She
She
doesn't
just
really
kind of progresses the story. She doesn't
just
really.
yeah. There's not really like I don't you don't like her. You know, she doesn't really do anything like that sticks out. You just
Yeah,
got she
well,
does
because
like
she comes to his aid again, and I guess he said he's like he went in there, got the information, had sex, and came back all in
oh
10 minutes.
all under 10 minutes.
Wow, he's like
That's a Chappelle. I wonder if that was ad lib by him. But yeah, I mean, this we're up to the part where he meets Grover. You get the Grover scene played by Danny DeVito, and it's
oh,
perfect for him. This is like he's like the penguin all over again.
exactly, dude. That's exactly what I was thinking the entire time. I was like, he already had a role similar to this already, and he played off of that, man.
Yeah,
Um,
I wonder why this time around when I started I laughed more when he you know when he gives him the driver's license and he's looking for the bodies in the he's in the morgue and he
yeah,
starts opening those and in the first one I started laughing my ass off because I never realized that it's just like a bunch of pieces and it just has like eyeglasses on there
yeah,
and then he looks at it and he kind of looks like no it's like
yeah,
I'm like there's not even a body and he still kind of does like he checks like there's a
yeah.
yeah.
Oh man, this part is gross. Like after after you see that first part in the morgue, like you get grossed out. But I don't. Any other scene in the morgue doesn't gross me out that much. Uh,
Like all the bodies like
yeah.
Grover just all bloody and everything.
What is it? He's like, that's a pet rock, and it was in his anus.
Yeah, all that stuff he pulls out. Now that, so like I said, I do have families that are, you know, my family members that are doctors and you know engineers and lawyers and whatnot. But I have a lot in the medical field, and when he starts telling all the stories, I just start thinking about all the ones I know. Man, I know some girls. I'm not gonna share earlier. I think my lab rat one was bad enough, but I know some doctor stories where I'm like, man, and they're like nothing. They're just telling the story without any emotion most of the time, and they're just like, oh, just very monotone telling these stories that happens, and I'm like, yeah. So all these objects people pulled out, he pulled out of people's butts. That's what he's saying, or
Yeah,
they died somehow. See, he's like you just pull it out, and that's it's like I never picked up on that till this go around where he's like, oh, you know, like how people died, and like he's at the morgue, so he's keeping them as souvenirs. It's gross,
it's
man.
creepy, man. Did you see that? Like on the bottom shelf, he has a hand. Like, did that
Oh
come out of
yeah,
that? Did that come out of somebody?
ouch.
Or
I
did
don't
he
know.
just he just like, oh, my hand twin? Like,
And so this scene makes more sense to me now when my hand twin when he's talking about like it just goes up the butt like he's always putting it up his butt. I didn't catch it the first time. All the times I've seen this, I never caught on the fact that all that shit because it didn't tell you like he just kind of mumbles it and
yeah.
you realize oh wow he's talking that's all that shit was up someone's butt up someone's poop. He has
Pooper.
all those rings. He puts the blood to his mouth.
Yeah, dude.
He's a
Well,
gross
it
little
doesn't
guy.
look like some of the objects. It doesn't look like he's even clean. Like the TV remote, like
He
it
still
doesn't
has
even
blood
look
on
like
it.
it's
Yeah,
clean. Yeah, no,
yeah.
no, not even blood. It looks like it has shit on it. Like,
Oh,
like
yeah. I saw it all crusty, and I thought it was blood, but
I,
you're right.
I love Dave Chappelle's like he does the market. Like, don't put that on your mouth. Like, his reactions to some of those are so funny. Uh,
To,
no,
I mean,
uh,
I tend to typically make friends with people like this, with the Grover character, from all the way from elementary to even like now. So I just kind of accepted it that some people find a fascination with me, and I find a fascination with them. But I'm more fascinated. And I'm like, how the hell did you survive and become this thing? Where they're more
yeah.
like, hey, I'm fascinated with your movie trivia or something like that, you know? Or like they're like they want to talk about that kind of stuff, and I'm like, well, how did you end up like this? Like, I'm like, but I don't question. I leave
How
it
did
alone.
you get to be you?
Yeah, I was like, wow. I'm like, I'm just interested. I'm like, what did you do to be this
I,
unique?
I, love, I love he gives him the clothes. He's like, "You sure you want me to put this on a dead guy? It'd be pretty good grading if you wore these."
And it's like, oh yeah, living guy wore it. And you're right, it's all over a suit. I didn't even think about that. It's all over a damn suit.
Yeah,
If she would have just gotten the suit, they would have never done. But then they would have never found the problem.
yeah, and the story would have just solved itself. But I do enjoy that by the end of this. Well, and even Mrs. Croc, she mentions all the things that Oswald has gone through over the years, like addiction and all this other stuff that she paid for, and she still gives him $50,000. You know, That's why I think that they are together, or he does
Yeah, you
something
know
for
what,
her.
man? I totally believe you in that because working at the cafe and working at other places where I'd be like, why does this person work here? And it's just because they were just, the owner had a soft spot for them. But even like that, when they did stuff that was like detrimental to like the restaurant, employees, they'd have to let them go. They let them go with money.
Yeah.
A lot of places I worked at, I'd be like, whoa, why'd that guy just get like a fat check? Or so now you find out through conversation, and I'd be like the new guy at the place, and I'd be like, oh yeah, that guy he did his tenure, now he's gone. They had to let him go, but they because he was showing up and it just wasn't working, and I go, yeah, but every time I show up, he never works. No, now he really wasn't working. Like he really wasn't. It's usually an older cat. It's usually someone that stayed with the company for a very long time, and they just they can't do the job anymore. It's waiting tables is a little grueling on you.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you do it for so long, you do gotta, you're on your feet all day, which I like. Now I sit down a lot. What bothers me a lot more than when I used to just always be on my feet. But then,
Really?
yeah, but
See,
then
I'm looking to sit down, man.
nah, I don't. I
I
was
mean,
okay.
getting up occasionally, but I wanna, no.
I think the fact that I went from standing all the time and then to sitting now bothers me, and not the fact it's like editing is what bothers me, because editing is like I go minimum 4 hours, but it's just editing which I enjoy doing, but then I gotta do other stuff, and then I'm like, oh, I don't want to sit down and do this, but I might have to write, or like now I'm like I read like and I stand up when I read, because it's just I don't want to sit down the whole time. I don't want to lay down. I want to stay, keep that blood flowing, stay active.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, I could easily stay on the computer for 6 to 8 hours before I realize I'm editing, and then it's like, oh, I need to do something else. I got to stop editing, and then it's another like 2 or 3 hours on before you know it, I spent 10, 12 hours in front of the computer. I don't know. It's just I prefer to kind of always do the opposite, just to kind of always keep a good balance. But I mean, for the most part, this there is character development, there's character growth. This is as a payout at the end. There's a lot of little silly things that happen, like him. Like I mean, I didn't even pay attention to this time. The fact that the little kids beat him up actually help him out because now he's there on the scene where he was gonna leave.
Yeah.
And the only reason he got the money back was because the kid's mom brought it back to him, made him bring it back to him. So like for the
Well, it really wasn't money, but
well, I mean the case, to bring
if
back the
if they had
case.
gotten the money, then they would have gotten marked anyway. You know.
Yeah, they would have busted him. So yeah, I'm saying that they had the case. So it's like he had planned to take it, but he wasn't planning to get mugged. But it was funny that he got mugged by those little kids, and he's trying to tell them that it's a what do you call it? He's lying all the time. Like yeah, the big guys kick my
Yeah.
ass.
It's more like a rape. Like
Yeah, he says it. But I mean, he's wearing the luchador, and even the part where he does the voice, and then Mrs. Croc hears him, and then
yeah, with
like
the
that.
Borg.
Oh
I
yeah.
would recognize that voice
So
anywhere.
this old midget beat you up? Yeah. They're the body that Grover picks, man. What the god? Leave it
Oh
to Grover to
man.
be on time.
Right.
I'm gonna see what this movie made, because if Dirty Work didn't make any money, let's see what Screwed made.
Which
Wow.
I honestly remember watching both of these either on like Comedy Central or Stars or something like that.
Now, like I said, I saw this at the movie theater, so I contributed to
Yeah.
this amount. So the 10 million was budget for this one, so they even went 3 million less than what they did for. I mean, there's way more bigger names in this one, and
Yeah.
it only boxed office 7 million, which I'm proud that
Jeez,
I'm part of that
man.
seven. But I'll tell you this, but I totally forgot about an actor that came out in the first one that it was. I guess he plays a cheesy role. John Goodman is in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a repeat offender.
From
Lebowski.
Lebowski, yes. Um, so put it this way. So this movie was 10 million. I think. I mean, I guess this is more the. I mean, Danny DeVito would be what the most established one, other than the other ones. Or who do you think at this
Yeah.
time?
I would say Danny DeVito was probably the highest.
So
It was
so
probably
so
the highest paid out of the bunch.
Norm Macdonald and Dave Chappelle are the up and comers to be like. So this movie just didn't. So what you told me right before we started, you said the scores were a little bit skewed for this. So I said let's mess them up. Let's see what's going on with these stupid scores. Do you want to go already into it?
Let's go ahead and rate them.
All right. Oh God.
Let's
Ugh.
see. Let me get on Rotten Tomatoes real quick.
I accidentally hit
And
Rotten
you
Tomatoes. I got
yeah, go
IMDb.
yeah, you got IMDb. Let me get Rotten Tomatoes going and you're good to go, sir.
All right. So here we are for Dirty Work. And the IMDb rating, it has a 6.4 out of 10 with 26,000 views or votes. which that's not bad, but this Rotten Tomato is horrible.
Yeah, man, it really is. So with Rotten Tomatoes on Dirty Work, I have a tomato meter score of 14% with 28 reviews, an audience score of 65 with 25,000 plus ratings. And there's actually not even a critics consensus on this one.
And there's not even like a part that talks about anybody talking about this thing. They just said, "Oh, these 24 people, 28 people that saw it, and they thought it was a 14." Give me a break. Dirty Work is
Yep.
not.
No.
Oh, give me a break, man. I wonder how it'd be if I saw it now, but it's not a 14. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, it's definitely.
If I would have saw 76, I would have been pissed off at this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, Dirty Work is, I think it's kind of, like I said earlier, it kind of reminds me of Norbit. Like it's
Yeah.
one of those kind of like slapstick movies where you get a lot of physical comedy as well as one liners.
Mm.
And like you said, a lot of off camera jokes that kind of pay off later with him peeing off the roof, stuff like that. So that's that's a movie that's I feel is going to hit a specific audience really good, and then other people are going to be like, "This is stupid," you know.
Yeah.
So that's probably where you're getting your 14% from. Not trying to justify it at all, but just kind of saying that's. I feel that's why it has such low score.
Uh, I don't know where to
But
begin with it. I don't know. That's
anyway, let's go to Screwed, man.
Yeah. I mean,
Let's
with the score with
what
a 14, I just think with a 14, like you don't get any of the humor. But I don't. I hear 28 reviews. Let me just. This is weird, dude. This is like really bad. Let's see here. Occasionally funny, but all too often driven by juvenile conviction that anything even remotely connected with homosexuality.
so they got
So this
that's
lady
what it
got
was.
offended in her
Yeah.
review. Okay, top critic here. The outrageousness isn't consistently sustained, and the pick tends to peter out somewhere around 2/3 mark. Nah, you gotta stay with
No.
it. Let's see. They got the photos of these people where I'm like, okay, this is funny. Um, let's see. I guess if it's a tomato, it's a good thing, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so it says ribald flood of comic bliss. I guess a good thing. Um, okay, starring vehicle for Norm Macdonald, but you think he could do better. Oh my god, I don't know. I don't even know. Some of these people, some of these reviews are even like they're. Why does Hollywood think that every anyone who have ever appeared on SNL live deserves a film career as a reward? Really? But these are from 2002. These reviews are old. 2008 was the last time there was a review on this.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do a new one.
We
Get
might.
ready. Get ready for
Oh,
a
we
100% score.
we're about to start rocking these tomato scores open.
It just seems like everyone that's it's like if they got offended somewhere in here and they want to talk bad about it, you shouldn't take movies too serious. But yeah, let's go on to Screwed because that's I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like less than that. If it's got to be less than that.
It is.
It is less than a 14. All right, let's see.
Yeah.
So IMDb rating is a 5.7, so it's lower here out of 8.9 thousand votes. What is the really?
So Rotten Tomatoes for Screwed is going to be a 10% on the tomato meters, and then a 48% audience score out of 5,000 plus ratings. We do have a critics consensus on this one though. Despite having real comics in the cast, this tedious and painfully unfunny movie desperately needs a screenplay. I think this movie is it's completely plot driven. Like I don't understand where they're getting out with it doesn't have a screenplay. Like this the plot of this movie moves forward and explains itself very well. I feel like, especially for a comedy, uh, that you go into a comedy thing and you're gonna laugh, and it turns out to be like, oh, this person did this and this person did that. Like, oh, the old double cross. I feel like Screwed is a great movie. I feel like it is a funny movie that tells a interesting story and has a very nice ending to it. You know? Uh,
Yeah, I get you. I see what you're saying. I'm looking at the now. I'm digging on, as I'm listening to you. I paused what I was doing, but now I'm back on it because I was like, hey, they I'm looking at these reviews and they're from like 2000 and they're just a bunch of I feel like someone who just writes a
Yeah.
one-off review is just super offended. And I'm like, where are you getting these review from? It says like from theclinic.com, film.com, internet review. So I don't know, wherever these make believe places exist. And you can hit the full review. There it is. Doesn't even have the decency to be horrifyingly funny. Okay, that's once again, gross does not automatically equal funny. I don't know. I honestly think there's something about Mary, the ear scene, the hair gel scene. I think
Yeah.
that's funny, gross, but that doesn't that's not horrible. But I think that's worse than anything in this movie.
Yeah.
And I don't. I mean, just people want to talk. I don't know. I guess people got pissed at this movie. I don't know. It's. I think
They
I've
maybe whenever they showed her without any clothes on, I don't know.
showed who.
Showed the old woman without with like
Oh,
her
well,
Brigitte.
I'll tell you this. Well, I don't know how old she was at the time, but
I love how Dave Chappelle just comes out of the
oh,
like he's
the,
like you probably just screw it up and then just walks out of the door.
the
Not
cops
even
right
like,
there.
yeah.
And he has to go with that Asian lady. Like,
Oh, and she's a repeat offender.
yeah, okay. Where have I seen her from? I
Happy
was
Gilmore.
there. We go. I was trying to see where she was from. I was like, I seen that face. It's also funny because Chappelle does a lot of these references to Filipinos, and his wife is Filipino.
Yeah.
But what do you call it? But I think for the ratings, they're completely low, man. This is like hogwash. I didn't. I'll tell you for sure, Dirty Work is higher than Screwed, but it's not that much lower than what I was thinking. I mean, it is the thing about Dirty Work is you can put it in the background. You can do something like clean or cook or something, and you look up every so often and you just laugh at the scenes. Where Screwed has a story in it. You have to kind
Yeah.
of. I mean, there's still a story of Dirty Work, but the story in Screwed, like you have to follow it. You have to go with the story to get what's going on. But you know, if not, the scenes aren't so. The scenes seem funnier when you know what's going on. Everything is like I said, like that first body, like it makes me even laugh more because that idiot's like trying to
It
like compare it to a dead body, like that's already mutilated. I'm like, what the hell?
was like a
But
blob of organs.
organs, right? And just because I had sunglasses or I prescribed glasses on it. But I mean, the more this more you have to follow this movie, and that's the thing. Like, I don't think I could put this movie in background music and I mean background noise, and because I want to watch it, and have to be like, all right, this is the part. But with Dirty Work, you can just put it on there. You know, it's one of those. It's a nice one. But you want to do your side by side score?
Yeah. I am ready.
You want to go
Let's do
first,
it.
or you want me to go first?
I will go first. With Dirty Work, I'm giving it an 11. All right. This movie is first off, it's funny, it's entertaining. Yeah, it'll make you laugh out loud at some parts. It's goofy, yeah. It's irreverent, but that's what makes it a great comedy. Uh, it's uh, it's an interesting story, and you get to kind of see two people kind of fail forward in the best way possible, and they just kind of keep on getting better and better at, or the story progresses because they are able to, get the money that they need and from various sources, and they finally achieve that goal. Man, I like I said, it's funny. It's the little things in Dirty Work uh, that really make you laugh. If, like I said, it feels like a Norm Macdonald movie. It feels like his stand-up routine. No, not even stand-up routine, but it has a feel of his jokes. Like these feel very. He felt comfortable in this role. It felt like
Yeah, I feel
so.
it feels like a Happy Madison movie. It really does.
Yeah, it really
It
does,
feels
and it's funny, man. Like the scenes are funny. It's slapstick. It's one liners. It's everything that it's a funny movie. Like you said, it's one that you can kind of put on in the background and enjoy, and you can look up and see some funny scenes. It's one of those, if like I used to back in the day, flip through HBO, Showtime, all that, and if I saw a movie that I liked or remembered that was funny, I would click on that and just kind of watch it from wherever it was, and then go from there. And if I'm being honest with you, I feel like both of these movies are kind of they they both have that feel to them. Dirty Work more so, but I can imagine that I would have done the same thing to Screwed if I saw it. You know, like, oh, it's 20 minutes in. Okay, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
You know, uh, but yeah, what's your score for Dirty Work?
I saw everything. Oh, let me tell you, the guy, he was ugly, real ugly. So I'm gonna already say the nostalgic thing is gonna kick in. So we already know I got that. With that it would be a 13, but with my score, just which is a score as like just watching a movie, it's also a 13. That's because it's my kind of humor. You know, with the what do you call it? With Dirty Work, like it's kind of a little bit more they everything's kind of in the moment. Everything's happening kind of like
Yeah,
there's a beginning and there's a middle and an end, and there is a problem and a resolution, but you're kind of just going through the days with these guys, and it's kind of they're just showing you what they do, where in Screwed they're just trying to prevent things. Now
yeah,
Screwed, to me, if I were to see this like on stage, oh, I think it'd be hilarious too. So I think it translates like that. Like you took that story and just kind of you could make a theatrical play out of it. I think it'd be great. Dirty Work would be a little bit different. I don't know if you could do that, but because there's a lot of story to Screwed. Where Dirty Work is a very plain, simple, straight up comedy. I mean, it just literally says comedy in the name. That's all they give it.
hmm.
It's outlandish. It's funny. The word that someone I read right now said juvenile, which I was like, all right, well, juvenile is a word for some people want to use for I guess like kids or something.
Billy Madison is juvenile, but that you know,
Yeah, exactly right. So for this, I
but
mean, I think for me for Dirty Work, it's definitely a 13, and not just because Norm's not here with us anymore, but the fact that I learned a lot from it. I enjoyed it. It makes me laugh. It makes me shut my brain off, and when I do that, I like to like still have a good time. I mean, this definitely has that Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore. You could have told me that Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, and Dirty Work were made by the same people, and I'd believe you.
yeah,
And it even makes me wonder about Billy Madison, Norm Macdonald's character in Billy Madison. Is that the only time he didn't have parents? He didn't have parents in Dirty Work. He doesn't really have parents in Screwed. So was that the only time when he was free? When he was just kind of just before he, before he started doing stuff? No, I'm just joking. But with Screwed, I'll give my Screwed score first.
yeah. Go
Uh,
for it.
I'll say that I mean this is I'm not gonna defend it and say like oh it's a straight up comedy, but it's if you like if you like Norm Macdonald, if you like Dave Chappelle, if you like they just like if you like their antics and the way that their careers, I'd say watch this movie, and you'll learn that it's a good movie. It's definitely gonna get my 10 approval. Leans on 11, but I'm gonna be honest. This is a 10 for me.
Yeah. So Screwed is going to get the same scores I had for Dirty Work. It's going to get an 11. It hits in all the places I need it to. It entertains. It's funny. It's not as slapstick as Dirty Work, and not really. It's more of a situational comedy instead of like like I said with Dirty Work, it kind of felt like one-liners.
Yeah,
With where this one is, uh, this one's more of like situational, like kind of read the room kind of comedy.
yeah.
Uh, one thing I thought was funny, man. It just with Dave Chappelle, you mentioned Robin Hood Men in Tights. I always think of that part of his like better to be pissed off than pissed on.
Pissed on.
And then he did the same thing in this sort of. He did like he said, if you he said if you stay with Miss Croc, you'll
Yeah,
get head.
you get hit.
Yeah.
So,
So
there's a fan theory, real quick to interrupt you. Do you think that his dad Willard's dad stayed there only because he was getting a blowjob? He was getting head. That's it. That was the only reason he
no,
stayed.
no. Well, I think that he was probably getting treated better than Willard because he had something more to offer. I think that's why he stuck around. I think that yeah, that was
What
probably a
what
part
do you
of it. But
mean?
I, I doubt that I doubt that she was rude to him.
No, what's I'm saying? Like I think that he just stuck around. That's why he stayed at that job. That's why his dad stayed as a butler because he would just go down on him all the time. So
Yeah.
that was and so Willard wasn't doing that. So that's why he was struggling to stay there. Because
Yeah,
even
but
I I just
but see, I think that probably Willard's dad was going down on her is really what was going down. I think that's is like you'll have to give head. Stay with Miss Croc, but give her head. And I think that's probably what he was trying to
It's
say.
it's because Ben's about the rules of the road. He
Yeah,
knows about the
exactly.
rules of the
The
road.
rules of the road. No, no. But you could imagine like that's she tries to seduce like I don't figure her one to just be like, I'm gonna that look at him. I'm gonna go down on him. I could be like, hey, come here. I feel like she's selfish. She's gonna be getting stuff. Even with Grover, he's the one pleasuring her.
Oh yeah. Well, she's in control. She's the
That's that's
man.
that's what I'm saying. So that's why I think Willard's dad. I think that was a situation too.
I don't know, man. If I don't
And
want to talk it too
also,
deep.
also, also, that's her employee. So that whole dynamic too. So she has control in that aspect and in the relationship. I just that's my fan theory. There is that Willard was the one, uh, or Willard's dad is the one who was pleasuring her. Um, I love it whenever Grover comes in there with a shotgun and he's just like he I thought he was about to shoot her. Like it
Oh,
almost looks like that's what was going to go on. Uh but yeah, dude, this movie yeah, it's getting an 11 just because man, it's a good one. It really is. It's a good story. I like the story. I like how all the crazy twists and turns like it has enough of those that you watch this and probably by the next time we watch it well actually probably not anymore. It's since we've done it side by side, I feel like I'm going to remember how it goes. But it'll have the nice little twists and turns, and you don't necessarily remember each one, and it's kind of like a little surprise each time. That's what I like about movies like this too. So 11,
and 11. Yeah,
two.
yeah, I'm 11 too. I'll leave it. I'll move it up because I do like it. I like
Oh
like
no, no, you
creativity.
can keep your 10. I'm just
Hey, buddy boy. All I'm saying is you've pleaded the case enough for me to be like he's right. It is an 11, and also do like I'm like saying I just don't want to over. Unlike some of these a holes that are like calling it a 14 or a 10. I don't want to go too high, but I want to be honest with people. But at the same time, this does lean as an 11 for me because I
yep.
did say that if you like Dave Chappelle and what do you call it and Donald McDonald, and I do love those guys, so it'd be like
Yeah.
between the 11 to 12.
Well,
10 is always just the a movie you have to watch, and 11 to 12 and 13 are ones we like more. So this definitely would be an 11 for me.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. Like, it's a good comedy. It's a solid comedy, but it has other aspects to it, and that's what makes it so good. I love Dave Chappelle's scenes where he just picks up the lamp and hits somebody with it. It's like I got scared.
That's scary.
Like it has those kind of like there's
So let's all right.
very
Well,
memorable.
I guess we're done with. You're right. You're done with this episode, and it is funny. All the like, he's like the lava lamp too at the end. It's kind of weird. Like what the hell?
Yeah. Oh
But
man, could you imagine that would you would get hit with shards and lava?
lava. Yeah, be melting. Oh
Lava
no.
shards. Oh no.
All right.
All right.
So I guess we have this one in the books. You got double 11s over here, and we
Yep.
actually a triple 11 13 on this one. So we got three.
Oh, triple 11 13. That's my favorite thing when that
Yeah,
happens.
triple 11. I got the nostalgia for sure. Dirty Work. I remember laughing my ass off being in eighth grade watching that shit. But all right. So I did bring up two movies earlier, and I did have two movies loaded from where I was thinking we could have gone with this episode, but I was not thinking about the doing the goods. So I'm gonna do two sets of movies, and you tell me which ones you think you want to do, or if you can bring in some more, because whatever you can think of. But the goods, live hard, sell hard, 2009, rated R, 1 hour 29 minutes. Used car liquidator Don Reddy is hired by a failing auto dealership to turn their 4th of July sale into a majority profitable event. Director Neil Brennan, that's already a good start. That even leaves Dave Chappelle there. Written by Rick Stempes, Andy Stock, stars Jeremy Piven, Ving Rhames, and David Kirshner. I was going to compare that with an older movie, Cadillac Man. More of us on the serious note. 1990, rated R, 1 hour and 37 minutes. Comedy crime, another one. Joey gets 2 days to sell 12 cars to keep his job and keep his girlfriends happy. It gets worse. He's juggling three buyers when a guy with a machine gun crashes into the car dealership and takes everybody hostage. Director Roger Donaldson, Writer Kevin Friedman, stars Robin Williams, Tim Robbins, and Pamela Reed. That's one set. And my second set of movies that I was thinking of talking to you about was because of Artie Lang. We have a movie called Beer League. Have you ever seen Beer League?
I think pieces of it, just here and there, but I
Beer
don't think I've
League.
actually sat down and watched it.
Yeah, Beer League 2006, rated R, 1 hour, 26 minutes, comedy sport. An unemployed slacker inspires his softball teammates to improve their game so they won't get kicked out of the local league. Director, another Frank Sebastiano. Writers, Frank Sebastiano and Artie Lang. Stars Artie Lang, Ralph Macchio, and Anthony DeSando. I want to compare that with Beer Fest, bringing the guys back. 2006, rated R, 1 hour, 50 minutes, comedy. Two brothers travel to Germany for Oktoberfest only to stumble upon a secret, centuries old competition described as Fight Club with beer games. Director Jay Sandershekard. Writers Jay Sandershekard, Kevin Heffernan, Steve Lemmy. And once again, they're the stars Jay Sandershekard, Kevin Heffernan, and Steve Lemmy. So I have offering those two episodes. Unless you want to bring something else, or you want to go with it organically.
I'm gonna give you two, Half Baked and Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Dude, okay. Now you stepped up the. Oh man. Oh, I got those are my cards. I got nothing. Wow. I just say that
We go Dave Chappelle, man.
I say. Well, I was saying Neil Brennan wrote. What do you call it? Cadillac, The Goods, and Neil Brennan is half of the writers of the Chappelle Show.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. And he also wrote Half Baked.
Yeah. So there. So what are we gonna do? The Goods and Half Baked, or
No, I think I don't know, man. I like the groupings that we had for the movies. I think we just need to pick one of those three.
I'll tell you this much, dude. I'm big. I mean, dude, I love Robin Hood's Men in Tights, and that's a big one for us. And Half Baked is one of my favorite movies. If we could do like a twofer, I'll buy. If you buy my. I really wanted to. Well, I like Beer League a lot, and I think a lot of people always like underrate this one. I will totally do. I mean, I win everything at this. All of these movies win for me, so it doesn't bother me. But I would totally do Robin Hood Men in Tights and Half Baked if we could do right after that Beer League and Beer Fest, and then after that we can go anywhere else.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do a twofer and get two down. I'm actually down for that. Let's
Yeah,
do it.
because I can't really see Artie Lang coming back around where he's also like a star, and or like, but this is his movie, you know. So
Yeah.
I really want to show and
You
compare it to.
you want to let's do it this week. Let's do Beer Fest and Beer League this week,
Okay,
and
and
then next
then
week we'll do
Robin
uh
Hood
Robin Hood Men in Tights
and
and
Half
Half
Baked.
Baked. Yeah.
So check this out. Beer League is on IMDb TV, and
Yeah.
Beer Fest. Oh, dude, Beer Fest was on. It was free right now. I thought it was.
Yeah, let me
I
look on Roku TV. Maybe it's on there.
Yeah, I saw Beer Fest like just recently. I think it might have been on Netflix if I wasn't mistaken.
I might have gotten taken off. They'll do that from time. Yep, you can only rent it. But have no fear, we have October 1st coming around. So,
Perfect
uh,
timing.
yep. Let's see here. Coming to Netflix. Because that would be a good time to put Beer Fest on there,
Oh yeah.
Oktoberfest, you know?
Oh just.
Um, but yeah, man, even if not, that's one that you can always rent for a minute. That's always a solid. Uh,
Oh, dude. Screwed just got real meta with me with Side by Side.
how's
There,
that?
I just looked down. I thought I saw this earlier. So there's a scene where Grover has Miss Croc in the. She's tied up, right? They're towards the end, and they're or it's towards the middle, and they're hanging out. And there's a scene of Ed Wood dressed as
Yeah,
the.
yeah. I saw that earlier too. I meant to mention that. I totally forgot.
I just haven't looked down. And I go, is that Ed Wood? So, but it's not Johnny Depp. It's actual Ed Wood. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's from that movie. The movie
Yeah, I
Ed.
get it.
It's not. It's I don't know.
Because you know what it is? He's got the wig. He's got the same scarf. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and
a.
yeah.
Well, the
I
trans
noticed that too.
the man the transvestite one, right? The
Yeah, oh man.
I'll look it up real quick before we go. But yeah, I think we're good. I think we're solid. So we're moving on. We're doing Beer League and Beer Fest, which honestly, they're both 2006, so I don't know which one came out first. We're gonna have to actually look it up. But yeah, we're moving on to those two movies. Before we finish, let's see. The movie was called Glenn and Glenda.
Glenn and Glenda, that's what it was.
That's what the movie's called, and that's what that there's a scene. So in Screwed, there's a scene of Glenn and Glenda, which we did a side by side with Ed Wood
Hmm.
and Black Mass. Wow, look at that! Look how things just go in circles. Eventually, I would like to get to the Cadillac Man and the Goods because that would be good. I don't know if that'd be a good comparison, but maybe there's other car salesman movies out there that we can do with the Goods because the Goods, I think that one alone is it's staying. So if we can find maybe something down the line or something else, but yeah, let's move on. We're doing a beer league and beer fest. Got anything else to say?
I am good today, man. I can't wait to do these two. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, beer fest too. It's the yorole yorole
No,
yorole.
no, no. Beer Fest 2 is Pot Fest.
Oh, I would say two as a T O, not two.
Ah, I
So
know,
I was
I
like,
know.
you got me there. Oh,
I got you.
todo full baked, not half baked.
Full
Um,
baked.
but well, we're done with this. This is a good episode. I like that even between these movies, we're able to find other layers. I think Screwed has a lot to it. Dirty Work is just funny. Hey, that's not true. I paid for the popcorn machine, and it just this those that kind of humor is like I love it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's the simplest forms of comedy are the burping, fart noises and whatnot. That's juvenile. This is
Hmm.
not. There's thinking to this. There's creativity to that, and for
There's
some
payoff.
there's
There's
payoff. Yes, I'm not just pulling my finger and there's no fart.
yeah.
Or it's like pulling my finger and I sneeze. Like no, it's there's something at the end, and I think people need to understand that if you're gonna write a review about a movie, make sure you think about the movie that you made, so you know what you put into it, what they put into that, and especially if you had to deal with Hollywood producers or executives. So we'll end with that note.
Yep.
But anything else, Ben?
I'm good here, man.
Oh, well, I'm good too. So we'll see y'all later. We'll see y'all on the flip.